All right. Hello. Good evening. Welcome back to another Wednesday episode of the O&G Strike Zone. Bryan Fulford, Kelvin Rozier, Marcus Green. The triumvirate is back. Fellas, how you guys doing? Good to see you all.
It's good to see you guys too, man. You know, I miss y'all guys on Monday, but the Monday crew holding it down, man. Those ladies and young men, they're doing their thing, man. But it's good to be with the brethren.
Chef's kiss to the Monday night review and everybody. I mean, look, y'all, for what we scheduled that show for, an hour? Yeah. But honestly, you know, when a podcast or a show is good, 2 hours doesn't feel like 2 hours. Unless you got somewhere to be early in the morning. But, you know, it still feels you guys covered a lot of ground. And I'm telling you what, man, you guys are – and I'm saying you guys because, you know, I feel like I have officially handed that show over. And I don't even feel right coming back, running this QB1. I'm going to just kind of sit back on the bench and watch y'all do your thing. Because the level of analysis and the breakdowns that you guys do – excellent. Great job. I love hearing all the commentaries. I mean, I think every week I got a new little saying from Tashay. You know, I mean, just excellent stuff. Uncle Steve doing a great job. Ashley, it was good to see Jay Peeps in there. Shout out to Keith doing all the quarterbacking and, you know, setting. I mean, just God, man, what a great show. I mean, I envisioned what that show has become. And there's still more that we can do, right? Because I especially enjoyed the breakdown of and obviously I was there, so I'm hearing it and I'm just like, yes, you guys are on it. The analysis, I think you guys spent about maybe 15 minutes talking about the maybe 10 minutes, but anyway, the interception, you know, the first interception of the year and just everything that led up to that. But just, you know, excellent work, man. Excellent work. So props to everybody on that. It's an enjoyable watch, read. Those of you who have not watched it yet, go back and watch it. It's available on, it's in podcast format, the BCSN Pod Zone. You can go back and listen and watch it there. You can catch it, obviously, on the O&G Strike Zone feed or the JBN online. But go back and watch. If you didn't watch that show, God, you're missing out. You were missing out on some great analysis. So had to get that in there. Marcus, how you doing, man? What's good? What's good with you, brother?
Doing good. You had a pretty good weekend. Everything's going well. You know, things are settling in up here. You know, I guess cold front's coming through, so you can see I got the hoodie on in the house.
Is that cold?
Actually, yesterday it was cold, but today it kind of warmed up to the 50s. But yesterday it was like overnight lows in the 30s, so I was like, oof.
The
wind was like 15, 20 miles an hour.
We were colder until I asked.
Oh, yeah?
Hey, Orlando was colder than Denver, Colorado, and some places in Maine. So, I mean, you know, you take that, Marcus. Take your cold and I'll raise you. Take your cold and I'll raise you 10 degrees lower, buddy.
Now, I will say, I want to say, I know we're going to get to the shout outs and everything, but I got a chance to meet some good folks who are regulars. You know, so Dr. Melissa, got to meet Liv. Yeah. I didn't take any pictures. Or at least any pictures. Well, I didn't take any pictures of myself.
Oh, okay.
I'm not in I don't take good pictures. So I did take pictures of the arena, sent them out on Twitter. but I got to meet Kylan C. Got to meet, mentioned Dr. Melissa, mentioned Liv, Tia Mitchell, who is the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, Washington political reporter, and a few other folks. So that was good. That was the highlight of Saturday.
Nice. Good stuff. Good stuff. You have the pictures
and also long time MEAC fan poster Bison for Life.
Bison for Life was there. Yeah. That's what's up. I made sure to retweet I did retweet some of the photos that you sent out. I don't know if you posted more or if you got them handy. I mean, hell, load them up. I know I got some photos from the UAPB trip, which I can load up a little bit later. You know, if we get to that point and want to hear war stories. But you know, other than that, you know, we can trade stories, Marcus. We could talk about the road trip, the O&G out on the road. So trying to cover ground. So good stuff. And yes, I do recognize how cold it is because it hit home, Marcus. I kind of laughed inside when you talk about wearing a when it's so cold that you got to wear a hoodie in the house. That's how cold it is. I know those days. I remember those nights when it's so cold that you just like, no, I still got to put on a hoodie in my own house. Yeah. So.
Well, I just had it on all day, so yeah, no sense in changing.
Woo! You guys dropped those cold temperatures. Duval dropping 20, hitting 21 degrees. That's
bad.
That's ridiculous. Yeah, Ron Jab's down here in Orlando area, Lake Nona, 42 degrees. Mary 305, 45 degrees in Miami.
Wow, that is cold for Miami.
Yeah. I know when the weatherman had said it was warmer in Denver, Colorado than it was in Orlando, that shook me. I was like, huh? So, yeah. But, all right. Well, we do got a good show to hit up for you tonight. A lot of stuff to talk about. Very busy. Obviously, football team got a good win on the road, Arkansas Pine Bluff. We'll talk about that. Basketball, still struggling right now, early part of the season. So hopefully they find themselves, both the men and women. Volleyball, big win over a rival. And they're in the hunt heading into the final regular season weekend. Softball, I think softball officially done with fall ball.
They may have one more game. I'm not sure, but they've had a great fall season for sure.
Yeah. I was definitely going to mention that. Have had a very good season so far. Tennis. Do we have? I know tennis did the ITAs last week. Do we have any results from that? I didn't check the rundown, so that's on me. But I just thought I'd ask.
No, I hadn't seen anything.
Okay. Well, we'll try to catch those scores. I know bowling was out over the weekend, so maybe we'll catch up and kind of see how they did. I guess it looks like they were at the Bulldog Invitational. So we'll catch up. We'll catch up and kind of spotlight and mention all those. Coming up on tonight's show, bottom of the hour, the head baseball coach, Coach Jamey Shouppe, will come in. It's been real quiet on the baseball front. So we'll get a chance to kind of find out what the baseball program is looking like here in the fall. And then coming up at the top of the hour, the Rattlers are traveling up to Huntsville, Alabama A&M, where, by the way, it should still be stated, even though we did lose to Alabama State at home, FAMU football has not lost in the state of Alabama since we have joined the SWAC. So, something's on the line when we head up to Alabama. So Pooh Bear from No Chill Sports and the HBCU Hour, of course, used to be the Golden Boot for those of you who maybe missed the rebrand. But so we'll talk to him coming up here at the top of the hour. Yeah, so a lot to get to here. So let me go through the roll call. Anything else you guys want to mention here before I run through the roll call real quick, and then we can see how much time we got to talk about women's basketball before we take that first break. Anything out there that you want to make mention of?
No, let's roll.
All right. Do us a favor, hit the thumbs up and the like button early if you would. We know you're going to love this show, so go ahead and get it out the way. If you're watching us on YouTube, my JBN Online, thanks to all our Jericho Broadcast Networks, Black College Sports Network subscribers, you can join the BCSN YouTube channel at my JBN Online. Those of us who are following on the O&G StrikeZone Facebook and YouTube page, we appreciate you. Those watching on Instagram Live on the O&G StrikeZone, we say what's up to you. Of course, everybody watching us on Twitter. A lot of folks like to watch on Twitter. I guess they call it X now. We still call it Twitter. So, it is what it is. Appreciate everybody. Join the chats on YouTube and Facebook. There it goes. Ken Rozier checking in. YouTube has done all the changing of names, so it takes me a minute to kind of get used to finding people's names with all these numbers and stuff. So what up, Ken? Good to see you. Zeke Love checking in. Good to see you, Zeke. Dr. Wilson checking in.
Yeah,
checking in. So, up in the DMV. So nice job to all the DMV Rattlers. Kelvin crowd. Checking in. I didn't want to ignore you because you'd have complained.
That's
Meredith,
right.
Good to see you, Meredith. Thank you for being a JBN subscriber. Thank you, Mary 305 as well for being a JBN subscriber.
Hey, Auntie.
Gail checking in. Thanks for being a JBN subscriber. Gail sent me the rundown from the UAPB game. You want to hear it now, or you want me to come back to it later?
Let's come back to it so we can get
all right.
Justice.
We'll come back to it. All right. Appreciate you, Gail. We'll mention it here in a second. Tony, good to see you, Tony, checking in. Appreciate you, Tony. Marvin Allen as well. Edwin Moore from the DFW.
What's going on?
In. Marcus, good to see you, Marcus. Thank you for being a JBN subscriber.
What's up, Marcus?
B Starks in the ATL.
What's up, B Starks?
Thank you as well for being a JBN subscriber. Ashton Harris out there in Pensacola. Good to see you, Ashton. Let me see. Makiba West. Good to see you, Makiba. Thank you for checking in. Little baby.
Hey, good to see you. Little baby.
Reggie Delane. All right, Reggie. Good to see
you. What's up, Red?
Live for Hoops checking in. All right.
What's up, Liv?
Good to see Liv. Good to see Liv. Bull checking in. Good to see you, Bull.
What's up, Bull?
Let's see. Teresa Wesley. I think that's how it is. She did definitely. Thank you for showing love. For showing love to the Monday night folks. The FAMU Super Friends. That's what we're gonna call them. Exactly. The FAMU Super Friends. The StrikeZone Super Friends. There we go. Chuck Hunt checking in from Monroe, Louisiana.
What's going on, Chuck?
Hey, Chuck is all this watching these shows. Chuck done become a videographer with commentary. Man, at that Grambling game, boy, Chuck was front row and center.
Chuck wasn't throwing no blows, was he?
No, man. Chuck was calling out them Florida mangy cats is what he was doing. Hey, Chuck was cussing. Chuck was like, take that S back to Florida, coming down into the hole with all that foolishness. But, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe you heard my commentary on Sunday night's show. I had some thoughts. And, of course, it was addressed very early by Mickey Joseph. We can talk about the fine. I saw some of you Rattlers trying to do
accountability.
Y'all were doing accountability on the fines per dollar. Was it dollars per person?
We're breaking it down.
Man, y'all were breaking it down. Y'all ridiculous, man. Dollars per person. Y'all like,
I love it, Rattler Nation.
SWAC, it wasn't nothing. You find one person $10,000, man.
Petty.
Unbelievable.
We petty.
Oh, exactly. Sure enough, petty. Demetra, good to see you, Demetra. Let's see. Ron Jab checking in.
What's up, Jab?
Ron Jab checking in. Hollow checking in.
Hello.
Edwin Moore continues to be impressed with Tasha's analytics of the game field. That's a good commentary, man. She's got a great eye for that, man. I mean, outstanding stuff. Outstanding stuff.
We know our football now.
Yeah. James Austin checking in. Good to see you, James.
What's up?
Miak fan, good to see you.
Jimmy.
Let me see. Anybody else I missed? No, I think I'm all caught up. Good stuff, everybody. Appreciate you guys for coming in early. Don't forget, bottom of the hour coming up here very shortly. Coach Jamey Shouppe will be coming up at the bottom of the hour. Get some baseball talk in and go from there. All right. Well, we'll start it off with kind of catching us up on a tough couple of days for the Lady Rattlers as we took a pair on the chin. Marcus can give us the analysis. 89-53, traveling to Howard, losing by 44. Marcus, while I look up whatever little stats I can find, what's your analysis on what you saw, Marcus?
Well, I'll leave the in-depth expert analysis to Liv. And I was thinking about this, I guess a quick short story. When I was growing up, me and my 6 cousins would go to my grandmother's house in North Carolina, and she was probably pushing 60 about the time of this incident. And it was 4 boys, 2 girls, so we had a lot of stuff going on. And of course, we were getting in what my grandmother called devilment. And one summer, I guess I was probably like late elementary school, one of my older boy cousins did something. Grandmother, she was pushing close to 70 about that time. She told him to go get a switch off the branch. And so he went. The first time he went, he got like something kind of weak. She was like, no, get another one. We don't know what he did. I don't know, my girl cousins were looking at me, so I don't recall if I had something to do with it, but I plead innocence. But all we could do is he was, moving, and she was walking like Michael Myers, chasing him slow. And so she was catching him, and he was jumping and moving away from the switch. And like, all we could do is look out the window. And I say all that to say, sitting at the game on Saturday, I felt like I was looking out the window.
You was weapon a whooping with a switch. Huh?
Oh my gosh! It was, and one of the tweets I sent out was that the press. I mean, they started out pressing. Well, I guess the first thing I said, just looking at their team, I think we had height advantage as it relates to having height at the center position, but it seemed like their height was more, and athleticism was more evenly distributed, and it really showed itself. And they pressed from the gate, or at least looks like I would guess they trapped. It seemed like they seemed to trap on I don't know if we have a pattern of coming up the right sideline, but it seemed like it was 6-0 just right out the gate. And the first 2 times they scored, 3 times they scored, they were trapped, maybe a 3/4 trap over on the right sideline. And I don't know if we were dribbling that way because it's a habit or a pattern that we're used to, or if it's to get direction from the bench, because we were sitting right behind the FAMU bench, but it just got worse from there. And the trap was really hard for us to handle coming in, and then the athleticism, and then the turnover. So that, and the other thing I seem to notice that was a recollection of mine, and Kelvin, you can see if you see the same thing. And I did talk with Liv afterwards. I'm a big Atlanta Hawks fan. And so way back, I guess the late 2000s, early 2010s, when the Hawks got Joe Johnson from the Celtics, it seemed like the offense, they just called it ISO Joe, because it was basically like clear out, let him make space, make a shot, take a jump shot. And that reminded me of what I saw on Saturday. There seemed to be a lot of isolation. There was some movement, some picks, but it seemed like there was a lot of standing around in comparison to what we saw from Howard. In terms of movement off the ball, screens being set, and it seemed like number 15 for Howard, it seemed like the first half she was taking 3-pointers right in front of the FAMU bench, like they were screen set or something. She would just come off the curl and just take a 3-pointer like right there in front of us, like at least 4 or 5 times during the first half. So it seemed like their offensive set and movements were much more crisp and seemingly much more better executed and just implemented better. And it just ballooned from there. Turnovers, the trap, the offensive executions were one and done. Now, I will say the freshman, Naya Rhodes, seemed like she was our early offense. She hit a few 3-pointers, and it seemed like that was one of the things we were trying to get established. But other than that, it seemed the offense just didn't seem smooth. And on the defensive end, it just snowballed.
Yeah, unfortunately, what I'm seeing is a lot of what I've seen from last year's team early. We're having trouble scoring consistently, and we have high turnovers. And Howard, don't get me wrong, Howard is going to be a top program. It's a legit mid-major. As a matter of fact, I think they're 3-0. They beat Providence, and they beat George Mason after we played?
They beat the team.
They beat George Washington.
George Washington, right.
They beat them last night.
Yeah, so
that's the team that we struggled with right there by 48 points. They beat that team by 2.
Two different teams. George Washington versus George Mason.
Oh, okay, my bad.
They're both Georges, but in the same area. But regardless, they look good. I mean, there's no shame in losing to Howard based on how they've performed so far, and when you see them play, but getting beat by 34, that was a lot, and that was with a late rush at the end because
it's a bad 3-pointers in. It's a bad trend. Yeah. We hadn't had a close game yet, and that includes our preseason game. It's kind of rough.
Yeah, it just seemed like the offense was out of sync, and I just didn't see a whole. I mean, I'm not an analyst, so I don't know all the play calls and all everything else in terms of the plays that could be set up, but it just seemed kind of very disjointed, very inconsistent, and more predicated on creating your own shot or taking someone off the dribble or taking a jump shot, and then you're backpedaling on defense.
So statistically, right, we are I was just looking this up. This team right now, we're scoring 39. Let me see. These are the last 3 games. 39, 53, and 40 points. Right? I think what's troubling is the number of field goals that we're making. I mean, look, I don't even know which stat is worse. The number of field goals, 14, 20, and 16. That's a percentage of 8. That's a percentage of 19%, 29%, and 29.6%.
Yeah,
over the last 3 games. Now,
we ain't played but 3.
Yeah, we haven't played but 3. And I mean, and obviously last year's team was a totally different team. So, I was just looking at some numbers from the end of last season. But this team's got to figure out a way how to score some buckets. It's bad. It's bad enough that we are not stopping anybody. Again, you gave up 89, and so we gave up an average of 88.5 in the DC metro area. Combine that with 100 that we've given up, and if you're one of those points per possession kind of people who likes to look at those stats, because I know a lot of people like to look at and think about analytics and all that kind of thing. The last 3 games, we're right at about, if I got to look at 0.38, 0.51, 0.52. That's the 3 games. I mean, we're getting a lot of possessions. We're getting a lot of possessions. We're just not scoring. So a tough road to climb to get out of. hopefully, maybe Saturday will be a different story because the Lady Rattlers host Samford on Saturday at the Lawson Center, 4 p.m. Samford, the Bulldogs, are part of the SoCon. So they are an FCS school, part of the SoCon. I think Samford is located in Birmingham, Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
So just kind of look real quick at their schedule. They're 1-1 on the year. They played some school. I don't know, Montevallo. I don't even know if that's a Division I, but anyway, they won by 20 against that school. They played Nebraska. They lost 80-46. Tomorrow they play at Florida, University of Florida. So if you're just happen to be bumping around and you want to see what Samford looks like, take a look at them Thursday against Florida women, and you'll get a chance to see. But again, the Lady Rattlers got an opportunity here, and that's all you can ask for. So I think after they've taken their lickings here, maybe we'll see a competitive game on Saturday. So 4:00 Eastern. We still need you to support Rattlers. We need you out there. Don't give up on them just yet. It's still early in the season, and it's the non-conference. So, we need you out there.
Yeah, new team.
Somebody said, did we beat Samford last year?
Don't know. But new team, new got a couple of new coaches on. Hopefully it's all the newness, learning each other, and it'll come together by conference play.
All right. Okay, good stuff. We'll get into talking about the men a little bit later on in the show, but let's get ready to take our first break so we can get over to Coach Shouppe after the break. You're watching the O&G Strike Zone right here on the Black College Sports Network. We'll be back in just a moment. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back after these words.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6:00 p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically black colleges and universities legendary. Whether you're a student or a lifelong supporter, our gear lets you wear your HBCU story with confidence and style. Because when you wear HBCU Image, you're not just wearing clothes. You're wearing culture. You're wearing pride. You're wearing purpose. HBCU.
College football fans, the Cricket Celebration Bowl is celebrating 10 years of crowning an HBCU national champion. A champion will rise at Mercedes-Benz Stadium on December 13th as the MEAC and SWAC champions clash in Atlanta. Join us for championship football, interactive fan experiences, and iconic marching bands. It's an HBCU family reunion that you don't want to miss. See who will be crowned the next HBCU national champion. For event and ticket information, visit thecelebrationbowl.com.
All right, welcome back to the O&G Strike Zone. Bryan, Kelvin, Marcus, Green, and joining us is none other than our head baseball coach, the one and only, the FAMU legend, Jamey Shouppe. Coach, welcome back. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. How's everybody?
Doing good, Coach. Ready to hear what you got to say. How the fall been going?
I like the hat, Kelvin. I like the hat.
Thank you. I'll get one for you.
Yeah.
Coach, we're still waiting on. Coach, while we're talking about hats, we're still waiting on baseball hats. Coach, who do we have to talk to get one of those exclusive FAMU baseball hats, Coach?
Tell you, like I tell everybody around the office, am I supposed to come see you to bring a hat, or are you gonna? How do you think Kelvin got his? He didn't wait on me.
Look, I don't know. I can come out there if I need to, rake some dirt, whatever I got to do, Coach.
No, I ain't got them at the field. They're in the office. So stop by and visit sometime.
All right. Well, Coach, what's the off season been like for you, sir? You looking fresh? You looking recharged? Great energy. Looks like you're ready for another season.
I'll take last season again. I was very surprised by what occurred last season. I was very, I want to say skeptical, but I was very nervous, I guess, going into last season. We lost 6 of our top 7 hitters going into last season. I kept telling the coaches, I'm fearful this is not going to go well. So rebuilding process, a rebuilding year. And I guess the guys heard my thoughts, and guys being the players, and turned out to have a great season, even with the losing of what I think is the best pitcher in the SWAC. Right. And Granger going down, before conference play really got going. And all those guys did was, our coaches and those players is come 1 win short of the school record for wins in the season. So it was a phenomenal season last year. And I can't talk about this fall without, again, saying how impressed I was with the program, I guess, with the players that came in, the new players, the coaches that did an outstanding job last year. Played for the championship in a year. I was just hoping we'd make the tournament, honestly, when I looked at our roster. But I said going into last year that last year was a program season for us, meaning that the kids that were going to get into the lineup that were going to replace the 6 out of the 7, guys that had left, our 6 of the top 7 hitters that had left. They weren't going to be guys that are just coming in. They were going to be guys that have been in the program for a year or 2. So, that tells us that our program, that our practices are healthy, because even when guys haven't played a year or 2 into the system, when they do get their opportunity, they've been making the most of it. So, and that's a credit to these kids that stick around, because you don't see that in this day of, transfer portal law. You don't see kids committed to a program and staying there and earning their opportunity, and when they get it, making the most out of it. So I think it's a great lesson and a great accomplishment for the team that, what they were able to accomplish last season. So, I'll take another chance at going into the 9th inning of the last game of the season, the championship game, and seeing if we can come out 1 run better this time. So, very proud of those guys. I remember, and 2 freshmen that came in that made the impact from last season are both back, obviously, Jay Campbell and Garrett Workman. I remember and both of them are local guys. I think sometimes it's how good baseball is in the city of Tallahassee. Right. You looked at our roster last year, we had 3 guys that were from Tallahassee. 4 guys that started that were from Tallahassee or the surrounding areas. Florida State had 3 that started, and they had a good season as well, played 1 game short of going to the College World Series. So Tallahassee baseball is good. And I remember going into last season, I'm like, man, when you're nervous, you do things you don't normally do. I'm calling coaches like, how good is Workman? How good is Jay Campbell? I remember calling Robbie Zimmerman, who's a lifelong coach at Tallahassee and a great coach at Leon. And I'm like, how good is Jay Campbell? I've seen him, but is he going to be able to do this? And I remember telling him, I said, he's going to have to hit third or fourth for us if we got a chance to be any good. And Robbie said to me, he said, you'll be all right then. And I'm like, how are you going to say that about a freshman? And all Jay Campbell did was come in and second in the team in batting average, led the team in doubles by about 8, I think. Mm-hmm. And just surpassed not only what I thought he'd do offensively, but when Caleb Granger went down, he went into the rotation and started pitching and did an outstanding job as our Sunday starter as well. So, I mean, that young man, he's just got the perfect temperament playing baseball. The other one is Workman. Again, when Granger went down with the injury, Workman stepped in as a freshman as our number one guy on a Friday night opening guy against the other team's best pitchers. So, both those kids just saved our season basically last year, and both of them were rewarded as first team all conference, all SWAC players. They're both back. Jay Campbell's going to be moved to the outfield and play some outfield as well. He looks stronger than ever. He won the what was it? The
HBCU Swingman Classic MVP. Yep.
He was MVP of that. Got a home run that put him ahead, and then came in and closed the game out. Got a save. Workman. Gosh, he was just a workhorse last year for us, and he's back. He didn't pitch this fall. He just threw bullpens. I'm very leery of kids coming out of high school after play a college season for the first time. He went off and played some summer ball, so we logged over 100 innings last year. So I thought it was smart to just do bullpens with him and not put him to the stress of competition right now. He's facing some hitters right now for the next couple of weeks that we're doing some individual stuff. But yeah, we returned most everybody from last year's team. Now we did lose Brody Popple, and that's saying a lot. And we lost Jalen Nichols, and you don't realize how much you'll miss a defensive player until that defensive player is gone. And he had that tragic injury at the end of the season. Popple drafted in the 13th round by Buster Posey in the San Francisco Giants. Yeah. And I thought that was ironic because Buster knows good. Mm-hmm. So
how is that?
Pretty much back, and all the infielders except for our shortstop Niles that I mentioned. He's doing great, by the way, with his leg injury. Great. And then Miller, our catcher, our backup catcher, that's a very good catcher. He returns as well. So I'm excited about this season. We didn't hit. We played 4 games basically against junior college team, 4 7-inning games. For NCAA purpose, we have to call it two games, but we split them. Everybody else in the country does. We split with Gulf Coast, and we split with Tallahassee State College. And I think we gave up was 5 runs in any of the 4 games. We just didn't score. Now that's going to happen a lot of times in the fall when you shuffle a lot of guys. The fall was good. We've been done for about 2 weeks. We've been doing some individual things. We're working with Brett and Mo, Octavian Moore, Brett Richardson, 2 assistant coaches that are in charge of the hitting. They've been working twice a week on Mondays and Thursdays, just getting some extra work in. And then we've been working with me and Jam. And Will Allen has, Jam being Jeremiah McCollum, have been working pitchers Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Guys that we feel like needed to throw a little bit more on Mondays and Wednesdays, and then the guys that just wanted to throw bullpens on Tuesdays. So we'll go up until next week, and then we'll shut it down and give them some time away and get in the weight room and resume in January for I hope will be a good season.
Nice. Go ahead, Kelvin.
Coach, I'm interested to know how's the progress going with our number 1 pitcher who got injured. Is everything on track? Does he look like he's going to be ready to go by the time the season rolls around?
He looks very good. He threw 60 pitches today. I didn't see his pitches today. He got there a bit in the field before I could get there. But I've seen him throw a couple of times. He looks good. More importantly, and he met with me in the office this morning, he feels good. That's the good thing. He's encouraged and excited about the season. So that's good to hear. You'd much rather have him, even if he was throwing bad, telling you he felt good than great and feeling bad, kind of.
Right.
kind of unsure about it. Seems very confident in how he feels, and so we'll baby him a little bit. We'll start him slow when it starts. But gosh, that guy can pitch. If you're a baseball fan, you want to see a guy that can throw 3 pitches for strike and competes. And Caleb's not real big, not small, but he's not real big. He just competes his butt off, man. He's as good a pitcher as you'll see. Velo was not to 90, 92 last year. Occasionally pitches 88, 89, 90. Just a great college pitcher. So he's worth the price of admission to come out to watch him pitch. Don't cost anything to get in, but still.
So Coach, I think I know you well enough to know that you approach your scheduling, your off season pretty much consistently the same way. You have an experienced team that played a lot last year returning. Is there anything different in terms of your approach or the challenge? I know that the goal is always to win the SWAC and go to postseason, but you got a team where you kind of know what you know about them, and of course there's talent there, and you expect to be very competitive. So do you approach it any differently?
Absolutely not. If anything, you push them a little bit harder when they think they're good. You want to make sure there's no complacency there and not looking to get better. We had the majority of practices we had were very good. Some of them weren't, simply because I think, you can't rest on last season. Everybody knows. We've got better on the hill, especially. We've got some guys coming in that I really like on the hill pitching. That's why we didn't win the championship last year. We didn't have enough pitching depth. So we've kind of rectified that during the recruiting season. And I've been very, very pleased with the arms coming in. Couple of them that you'll hear I got me a sidearm guy again. When we won the last 2 championships we've won, Zach Moray, Everyday Moray, was the MVP of the SWAC tournament and pitched, every game of the SWAC tournament. Before that, we had Jamey Grant, who pitched, won a championship. Gosh, I think all 3 of the championships we've had a sidearm guy that really played into it. 2 of the 3 ended up being MVPs of the SWAC tournament. So I got me another one. A kid by the name of Clark Lincoln from down in Tampa, went to junior college in East Georgia. We've got 2 SEC transfer by way of junior college. One came from Missouri, one came from Mississippi State. Both of them are pitchers. Deshaun Morgan transferred from Missouri and just kind of wasn't worked like he should have been. But he's our best velo guy that we got. He's been up to 95 this fall. And once we get him just right, I think he's got a chance to be really, really good. And then Jackson McKenzie transferred from Mississippi State, went to Gulf Coast for a year, but he up to 92 left-hander, and he's got a big league curveball, and he also DHs and hits. So he's a two-way guy for us. That he's really made some strides on the hill, especially. So those guys are, again, it is a big league breaking ball when he throws it. So our goal is to try to get to 2 strikes without them seeing it a lot, so we can put them away with that breaking ball. Cody Williams is back. Tanner Walker is healthy finally and in the best shape of his life. Jesus Campa is back. We got a freshman left-hander named Ricardo Roman from the Dominican Republic by way of Georgia. He's a freshman that's a lot like Workman in terms of not the arm angle and the slot and all that, but just in his chance to be pretty good for us. I'm pleased, man. I'm pleased with the depth we've gained, on the hill especially. So still waiting for that one big bat to surface to kind of replace Popple. Justin Cruz is back in center field. What a great season he had last year. Colton Riles came on. Cruz led us in hitting, by the way, last year. Figueroa is back at first base. Will Brown at second base hit 12 home runs. He's back. Matt Perez was been injured the whole fall. He had some back issues. Some of the new guys, returning guys. We talk about our program and guys getting better in our program. Guys like Josh Bell and Trey Kraft, they're going to have to continue to get better and contribute. Just excited, man. Excited about the season. I know the guys are kind of looking forward to getting away for a little while, but come back fresh, because the fall, we don't push them hard in the fall. We don't practice on weekends. We let them be college students. But once we come back in January, it's full throttle, and the guys know it, and they know what to expect. Everybody, it's a veteran team basis, so they've been through the process, and it'll be our job as coaches to make sure we push them and not allow them to live off of last season. Last season's gone.
Yep.
We want a little better this year.
Okay.
Can Marcus? I don't know if you had a question before Marcus jumps in. I want to ask a follow up to what Coach was talking about our numbers, because just kind of unofficially, just doing the math in my head, did the roster? I know previously the NCAA opting in increased the roster limits. Did the roster availability grow from last year to this year?
It went the other direction. We were allowed 40 last year. We had to be at 34 this year. It's the first time I've really, and the word cut is too strong, encouraged other guys to leave our program, because, as I said, the whole key for last season were the kids that had been in our program that didn't play the year or previous 2 years and saved our season last year. So I didn't like to, but it's just a matter of necessity somewhat. So we had to there were about 4 guys that transferred out last year that we usually wouldn't let transfer out had we not had to go from a 40-man roster to a 34-man roster. And that's across the NCAA, that's across baseball. And all rosters smaller.
I was going to say that everybody's dealing with that. So it's not like, not like a competitive disadvantage that we're dealing with in the SWAC or whatever. Everybody had to
in every
reduce
sport,
rosters.
In every sport in the NCAA. I think basketball, I want to say women's basketball didn't, but there's 1 or 2 sports that may not have changed their numbers, but ours we were reduced by 6 players permitted on our roster. So, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
Go ahead, Marcus.
Good evening, Coach. Welcome back. I guess I wanted to ask, given, the relative youth and uncertainty coming into last year and then making it all the way to the championship game, what's your prognostication of what, not necessarily a team, but when we go in the preseason and they do their preseason rankings, if you will, or where they believe that, where do you think they'll put FAMU?
Don't care. It don't matter. It's preseason, so I don't look at that. I don't do, for the guys that know me, Kelvin knows, I don't do any social media. I don't read the paper. I don't care. I mean, the expectation from our coaching staff will remain the same no matter where the SWAC ranks us or whomever ranks us or doesn't rank us. I laugh sometimes when we're ranked too high, in my opinion. I laugh sometimes, really laugh and really use it when they rank us too low. So I hope we get ranked 4th or 5th or 6th even, so that more our kids. But I don't care. I could care less. I don't read those things. That's for the fans. I don't lose sleep over them for sure. I guess the guys sometimes like to see that, but I want to see it at the end when it matters. I want to see where we're ranked. It matters. I want to see, I want to get back to the NCAA regional for the 4th time in school history. I ain't got too many more years left to coach, so I want 1 or 2 more of those at least. I want to see where we're ranked at the end of the season in the HBCU national polls. I want to be number 1 there. So that's what matters. But it's good. I mean, it's fun for the fans. It's, the players look at it, I'm sure. So, whatever it is, I'll use it. If it's too high, I'll tell them they ain't that good. If they're too low, I'll not any good. See what we can do. So we'll figure out a way, no matter where we're ranked preseason.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
I need to get like Coach. I need to learn how to not read social media. I might live a little bit longer and have a lot less stress in my life.
Well, here's what you need to do to get rid of that. So you want stress in your life, just work with 20 and 21 and 22-year-old kids that are responsible for your livelihood. Then you don't need social stress.
Does 60 middle school 8th graders count, Coach? I mean, I got to deal with them.
I did that for years. That definitely counts. That'll get you. Yeah, but
all right.
They're not responsible for your livelihood. They're just trying to take your life sometimes.
Well said. All right, got a couple questions. Let me see. I got a good question here from out of the chats. What's one of the top adjustments that incoming freshmen have to make offensively or defensively going into college baseball? You know, coming out of high school and that club thing to college baseball. What's the number one adjustment they have to make offensively and defensively?
I think twofold. Offensively, you're not going to have many 400 hitters anymore like you did in high school, especially, or even junior college. You know, so they have to understand that it's college baseball, it's D1 baseball, and the schedule we play is not like a high school schedule by far. We're playing very good competition. I heard y'all talking about basketball playing their games before conference. You know, get all of that out of the way in the preseason. What I call the preseason is the season before conference schedule starts, and play tougher teams. That's probably what they're doing. That's definitely what we do. You know, we play some SEC, ACC teams just to get ready. So when we get to conference play, there's nothing that's going to be better than what we saw in what we call the preseason, the season before we hit conference play. The second thing, and that same thing goes with pitching. You know, you better make your pitches and you better hit your spots. And even then, that ain't going to be good enough sometimes with the schedule and the competition. We'll take our chances if we go with the percentages of fastball tight, getting tight, so they're not able to hit it. Second thing would be the length of the season. You know, in high school season, and even in junior college, they play 40 games in junior college. They play 20, 25 in high school, and we're playing 56, 60 some years, depending on how far we have to go in the tournament to win the thing. So, yeah, it's there's a lot of baseball in a college season. You know, I talk to the administration. I need to talk to more to make understand. In the spring, football's done, you know, after spring ball, and basketball's done, and most sports are done. It's us and softball and, you know, maybe one other team going. And then we have all these functions at the end. And, you know, baseball game, average football game is 3 hours and 20 minutes. The average baseball game lasts 3 hours. Well, football plays one game a week. We got 5 of them sometimes in a week. So it is a lot of stress and time management on these kids. Not only to take up, you know, make sure that the grades are where they should be, but then have to go to just, you know, meetings and parties and stuff. Our kids, they're tired, man. It's a long, long season. Yeah. That's probably, if I had to say the number one thing the kids have to get used to coming in, is the length of the college season. So we take Mondays off. We don't do anything on Mondays. Just let them get away. But the rest of the time, it's plus your travel. And I mean, some of those 5 games, 4 of them, all of them could be on the road some weeks. So it's very stressful. That would be the biggest 2 things for kids.
Let me ask, dude, and you said that about the length, and I know it's different, but I want you to say how different it is. You mentioned a lot of kids who play that club ball, where they play, whoo, my God, I don't know how many games they'll play in a 2 or 3 day window. Is that that doesn't prepare or help in any way to deal with the college season, or explain how different that is compared to that example you just gave about the length of a college season?
Yeah, most of those games are tournament games where they're in a tournament. They could play anywhere from 4 to 6 or 7 games in the course of a tournament. This is every week. We're playing, you know, 4 games every week, basically, not 5. So it does help a little bit, but the summer ball, you know, it's travel ball. Yeah. Travel ball and summer ball, to me, the goal of that is to showcase yourself, and it's more of an individual game, because you're trying to get, not everybody on that team is going to the same team to play college. In college, it's everybody trying to play for the one, you know, for FAMU, try to play the best they can to represent our university and represent our baseball program. So it's more of less of an individual thing and more of a team concept thing. So it's different. It prepares it, no doubt, for the stress, but you can't, till you go through a college season and playing baseball, there's nothing you can do to prep that coming in, to be prepared for that coming in. Just other than realizing it, that's where we're at. You know, that's what's going to happen. Yeah. We talk about it all the time in the fall. You know, our falls are easy, but guys, when we come back in January, they ain't no going home on weekends, man. You know.
Enjoy it. Coach, before we let you out of here, can you give us any teases about the upcoming schedule? Any opponents? Maybe that, I don't know, I don't want to get you in trouble with anybody, but you always break news when you come on the O&G. I mean, whether it be about conference stuff or you always bring some kind of news, because you got to leave us with something good, Coach.
Man, I that hurts me there because I don't anything. I guess I'm not going to be invited back, baby. I don't. Hey, let me do this if you don't mind. So this is something that some people may take it good, some people may not. I'm gonna say it anyway because we've had one AD in the past that cared more about the coaches than they did themselves. There's one AD that got us a raise for me the first time in 9 years that I got a raise because she pushed for it, and I miss Angela. So
yes,
I know that's probably not what you want to talk about, but man, that she did something for the coaches that has not been done in a long, long time, and that's very much appreciated from all the coaches at FAMU, and I'll be the first to say it.
I'm glad you said that, Coach.
We appreciate that. We stand right there with you, Coach. We want our AD back as well, and I know you guys do. But I know we'll figure it all out, and we'll see how it shakes out here soon. All right. Well, Coach, we definitely gonna have you back on sometime in. We're gonna say,
hey, I'll make something next time, okay?
Because you're always breaking stuff, Coach. You're telling us about whether it be the rules or some new expansion. So that's all right. We'll give you brought so much breaking news.
I feel bad.
We'll give you a pass on this one.
I feel bad. So, I got one. Signing period started today. The early signing period started. Well, the signing period used to be the early signing. Used to be a 1 week window that you could sign kids. Now it starts today and you can sign them till whenever. We signed 3 kids.
All right.
The only one I can announce because it just started today, and you can't announce it until they return their scholarship, and then compliance signs off for us and tells us it's okay to discuss them on radio shows or TV shows, the likes of this. And we signed a kid named Andon Gray, a junior college kid from up in Georgia, and he's from Florida originally, but very good defensive infielder, a very good player. Father works with the Rays organization too, and 2 other kids that I'm very excited about that because of the NCAA rules, I can't mention their names right now. But signing period has started, and we're going to sign 3 during the early signing periods right now. There's another name here that's familiar that I'm hoping to get, and we're going to sign a bunch of arms because we're going to lose a lot after this season.
Okay.
Gotcha. Well, I got a feeling Marcus will – That's all right. That's all right. Because hey, Coach, you said enough. Marcus will fill in the rest. I know Marcus is good. He'll figure out the rest, and we'll talk about it after we leave you. Don't worry about it. We got you. Hey, Coach, we as always, we appreciate your time.
Thank you, Coach.
Always appreciate you. We look forward. I mean, fall ball just ended, but we're looking forward to another great baseball season. If we don't talk to you before the end of this year, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and all that stuff as it's coming up here at the end of the year to you and your family and all the coaches and players. And we'll definitely look forward to catching up with you.
Yeah, appreciate all you guys do for FAMU athletics as well, FAMU sports. So we appreciate it.
All right, Coach. Be well. Take care. We'll see you soon.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Good stuff from our head ball coach, Coach Jamey Shouppe. Marcus was shaking his head when he was talking that one. You got that one, right, Marcus?
Oh, Andon Gray?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have him. There's a couple others. And actually someone just signed, literally. Oh, well, at least he posted it. He's a high school recruit out of, where high school was that? Someplace in Tampa. But, and he's a catcher. So there were 2. And actually, he mentioned some names for this not incoming class, but class of 2025. I caught the young man from Missouri, Deshaun Morgan, and Clark Lincoln, but he mentioned some other people, like from the young man from Mississippi State. So I'm gonna have to rewind this once you upload it. So you have to upload it quick so I can catch those names.
I know you have them by next week's show. We'll be talking about it when we do our baseball updates. We know you'll have them. Good stuff. I'm interested to see how that roster thing. That's because like Coach was saying, we only lost 2 guys, but it's a lot of changing parts, and so.
And actually, I think we looked at it in maybe the preseason of football, because I have a spreadsheet of the proposed changes and how many, the scholarship limits and all this other stuff. So, previous, and then the house limit, and how many was on the roster last year for FAMU for each team, and how many we stand to lose.
Yeah. And
actually, Coach said we have 40. And I only counted 36 players on the baseball team, but still,
we're down to we're going from 34. What? We went to a max 40 down to 34 now.
Yes, so we lost 6.
I'm interested. You know what would be interesting to do an analysis of and see across the SWAC. And I don't know if the SWAC does well. I'm going to say the SWAC because I don't know if other conferences do or do not. But like how everybody does like a preseason thing for. Various sports, basketball, football. I'm curious, that 6, what positions do you think that 6 is? Are you losing arms? Are you losing position players? Is it a mix?
You're probably gonna have more, probably gonna lean more arms, because you need.
Tough. We need arms. Everybody needs arms.
Yeah, but you need guys who can play more than one position, with arms, especially if you're not a number 1, number 2, then you eat up some middle innings, but you don't necessarily pitch every day, a lot of those pitchers. So you have to roll the dice, and you have to have guys who play position. Like he mentioned, one guy who pitching and who also gonna be DH. So you have to look for guys who can do both, like Jay Campbell did last year. He did
like three positions. I mean, what? Yeah. Jay was a third baseman,
yeah,
outfielder, DH,
emergency
and a pitcher. I mean, if you
and he did them all at a high level.
Yes, yeah. If you were a high school recruit or somebody who had a son, or you gotta be able to play multiple positions. I mean, if you really want to separate yourself, because I gotta imagine most schools, like you just mentioned, Kelvin, are probably. Everybody's dealing with the same thing, right? The reduction of 6 scholarships. So, like you said, you got to find guys who can do multiple things. Damn, I just hate losing arms, though.
Well, I tell you what, though, this is the one year. As long as everybody stay healthy, it won't matter for us. We got a dominant number 1, number 2, and a really good number 3.
Yeah,
and that's not even
Workman,
and that's not even including Jay.
Because if Ranger comes back healthy, and then Workman, what he did last year as a true freshman.
Yeah, that 1-2 duo gonna be deadly.
I'm going to reach out to my good friend Coach Hernandez and do some little early scouting and pick his brain and see what BCU gonna look like, because he always recruits well. So
but he's losing a lot. See, the one advantage we have this year, literally outside of like two starters, everybody's coming back.
Yeah,
and that's why I asked that question.
Yeah.
And even I know Coach, doesn't look at the preseason stuff, just the prognostication. I mean, if you just look at the pattern, the early odds-on favorite is going to be whoever played the championship or made it the deepest in each. Well, I guess we're playing divisionless now. But
but no, you said, like you said, Marcus. I mean, the 2 teams that were in the championship game will get the first look. And when you look over and see all the people that Bethune lost, and you look at all that we have coming back, we will be the favorite, if not 2 or 3.
We're probably in the top 2 or 3.
Just because of the 2 pitchers.
That part, yes.
We did offensively. We were really good last year, which was the surprise. We knew we had pitchers, But just because of the I want number one, number two pitchers, we have to be the favorites.
Right.
But it don't matter. It's a new season.
New season. 2026 will be here before you know it. Less than I don't know. Shoot, we're almost midway to November, so probably definitely less than 60 days. And so there we go. Good stuff. Real quick, I want to make a comment because it's something that Marcus noted. You know, there have been some updates to our streaming service here, right? And so they're doing this whole thing where they're letting you, you know, stream to various sites in different layout formats. And I know for some of you, if you're watching us, for example, on Instagram Live, you might be looking at us in an unusual layout. You're like, what the H is that layout? You know, it's that portrait versus landscape thing. I know one of the Twitter feeds is using the new matrix and the other one is using the traditional. So I'll take, you know, if you're watching us on one of those feeds and you're like, this ain't normal, or this looks odd, then, you know, I'll tell you to come on over to the YouTube channels, My JBN Online, or the ONG StrikeZone feed. It looks good. Facebook is always going to be landscape the way it is. And so I'm, you know, just doing a little experimenting to kind of see what it looks like. If you guys are watching us, you guys in the chats, if you're watching us on one of those feeds with the portrait layout, let me know if you if you hate it, you know, thumbs down, thumbs up, whatever, so I can get some kind of analysis and feedback, and then, you know, just stop trying to experiment. All right, let's take that break. Come back on the other side. Pooh Bear will be coming up. No Chill Sports will be joining us here on the other side. You're watching the ONG Strike Zone right here on the Black College Sports Network. We'll be back right after these words.
You're looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU athletics. There's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black College Sports Network.
Planning an event? From weddings to corporate functions, CMJ Events LLC brings over 15 years of experience to make your vision a reality. Based in Metro Atlanta and serving statewide, even internationally, we provide versatile event planning and authentic catering cuisines tailored to your needs. Whether it's pre-game meals for student athletes, fundraisers, weddings, corporate functions, CMJ Events LLC is your one-stop solution for exceptional service and unforgettable food. Our diverse culinary heritage means we cater to all cultural taste, dietary needs, and food restrictions, making every meal uniquely yours. Let's make your next event unforgettable. Visit us on all social media at CMJ Events LLC or email us at cmjeventsllc@gmail.com. Also give us a call at 404-664-3882 so that we can start planning now.
College football fans, a champion will rise in Atlanta on December 13th. MEAC champion, SWAC champion, the 10th Cricket Celebration Bowl, crowning an HBCU national champion. For event and ticket information, visit thecelebrationbowl.com.
Since 2002, Empowerment Resources, Inc., a nonprofit organization, has empowered more than 1,500 youth and adults in Duval and surrounding counties through its programs Journey into Womanhood, Girls Mentoring, Life Skills for Teens, and parenting education coaching. To get involved with programs, volunteer, or donate, visit www.empowermentresourcesinc.org. Follow us on social media, facebook.com/empowerment.resources and instagram.com/empowermentJAX.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically black colleges and universities legendary. HBCU Image, a Kenny T's company.
ESPN Events presents Red Lobster Band of the Year. Returning to Atlanta on December 12th, 4 bands will qualify for the big stage, where 2 national champions will be crowned. Follow us for rankings updates throughout the season, and join us on December 12th. For event and ticket information, visit bandoftheyear.com.
right, welcome back to the ONG Strike Zone. Bryan, Kelvin, Marcus, and joining us none other than good friend of the program from No Chill Sports, Pough Bear. What's good, buddy? How you doing?
Hey, well, that's good, fellas. Good to be here with y'all, man. It's glad to see y'all.
All right. I see you branding yourself there with the jacket. I like it, man. Nice merch.
Yeah, we got a shout out to our guy. He's actually a Southern alum, Donald Kelly, DK Kelly, Kelly Creations. Yeah, big shout out. He takes care of us, get all our merch and stuff taken care of.
Okay.
Nice. Good stuff. Good stuff. So what's there's so many things happening within the HBCU sporting diaspora. Obviously, we'll get into talking about this Alabama A&M FAMU game, but in the SWAC, let's just start with the big story that happened over the weekend. The brawl down there in the hole, Grambling, Bethune-Cookman. What was your take on what you saw and then some of the post-game comments?
I guess Bethune picked the wrong hole. They said pick a hole, any hole. They picked the wrong one. And I don't think they going there no more.
Dirty cats.
But it was other than that, I'll say I think the game itself was a really good game, and it was marred by what happened before the game and after the game. That became the story outside of just talking about the great job that Grambling has done to kind of find some resurgence late in the season. Everything became about that. Then, of course, when it started hitting the public markets, everybody started talking about, oh, that's what it happens when you HBCUs, that's what they do. But nobody talked about Texas State and ULL because they had a pretty bad brawl this weekend as well. Nobody talked about it.
Yeah.
So also the comments from Mickey Joseph, the ghetto side of me was like, I know what you mean. That's but in a professional sense, in a leader of men, and especially of our young men, you don't want to have those kind of comments. And the prepared statement and everything was I'm gonna be honest with you, you could have threw it out the window. It meant nothing. Passion and heat spoke, and a lot of times you just gotta what my grandmama say, think twice before you say so, or as the new kids say, don't press in.
Yeah. Did you think the fines and the suspensions were appropriate?
Yes. I think because we've seen it before. I think if I'm not mistaken, there's precedence for this. This has happened before.
Yep.
So I don't think this is anything outside of the ordinary. However, if you're an Alabama State fan, you are cussing up a storm right now because you wanted Bethune at their best to try to help you out. But at the end of the day, I don't think it really would have mattered. But it is what it is at this point.
Good point. Go ahead, Kay.
Well, I don't know if it would matter. I still haven't seen exactly who's not playing. Long as they can put up points, then I think that it's gonna be a game.
Yeah.
But I guess I want to ask about A&M and what has happened. If the season started off with so much promise, you look good. I know there's been some injuries and things, but what happened with A&M this year?
I'm be honest with you. Everything I saw, it looked good, promising, very promising in the beginning of the season. And then I think the same thing happened to A&M, happened with a lot of teams in the SWAC. Injury hit, and it has derailed a lot of schools. If you look at some of the top teams that are left in the SWAC, the one thing that they have is health. Jackson State is probably the only school who's lost their starting quarterback, and it hasn't necessarily taken a big step back. However, they lost the game that they lost their quarterback in. That's probably the reason why they lost, because they couldn't do anything. They weren't expecting that. So it's health is one of the biggest things with Alabama A&M. They've got a lot of youth. the backup quarterback, freshman Huntley. I like him. The first time I saw him against Bethune-Cookman, I was like, it's the future is bright on the hill, with that guy being able to come in, put up the numbers he put up against Bethune-Cookman on the road, hostile environment, and he looked good. Then he got hurt. I mean, he's back now, but he doesn't look the same.
Right. He's not 100%.
No. Now on the defensive side, they have not been able to stop they're very physical up front in the front seven. The defensive backs are not. They're probably a year off from where they need to be. First year, Coach Shade, I kind of figured this would happen. I didn't think it would be this bad, but I wasn't expecting the offense to take the hit that they took. So,
did I see correctly? Quad Brown sent out a post saying that he's going to. I mean, it read like a transfer, or I thought someone had died or something. I didn't know what, but it looked like. But he said something about coming back for a medical red shirt. Coming back for another year. But I found interested in the statement, he made reference to a cheap shot or a dirty play, something to that effect. If I can find it, I'll try to find it. But you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, so I didn't see. I saw because I'm gonna be honest. I try not to read a lot of those long posts because I could do better things with my day. But he did mention he's coming back for another season. I mean, at some point he's got to be tenured in the SWAC. At some point, I don't know what to say. I didn't realize. It's funny. I didn't realize he was as old as he was until someone made mention of it, and then I was like, okay. And then I started noticing. I was like, oh, okay. I'm not gonna talk bad about the kid. I'm not going to say what. Let me rephrase that. I'm not going to say what everybody's thinking. However,
Grandpa.
So, I understand how it feels to be the old man in some areas, So, yeah. But yeah, he's coming back for an eighth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8th.
So I assume he done talked it over to coach, because sometimes coaches don't want the kid to come back.
I've seen that happen. On the FBS side, I've seen some coaches, a guy say, "Hey, I'm coming back for with medical red shirt." And the coach said, "That's great. Where are you playing next year?" So, yeah. So it's gonna be interesting.
Go ahead, Marcus.
Yes, actually, I guess the question that Kelvin asked, and you elaborated a little bit on it in terms of what have you seen from this Alabama A&M team, and if you were to handicap the areas of strength and area of weakness, comparing unit versus unit, how would that break down?
The trenches. Alabama A&M is very strong in the trenches. I was at the game last week against Prairie View, and for the first half, at least up until probably the last 2 minutes of that first half, they were pushing Prairie View around a little bit and kind of pushing them in the locker. But Coach Jackson got that combination, pushed his way out, and it was over with after that. But the way they got out of that goes to their area of weakness. They start tearing up those DBs. And it was number 11 for Prairie View. I didn't even check to see who got player of the week, because after probably his third, fourth catch, I was like, oh yeah, he definitely in the running. They DBs are your area of weakness on your defensive side. On the offensive side, it's quarterback, but it's not necessarily a talent thing. I think it's a little bit of the injury and the youth. They kind of pull the reins back a little bit with Huntley, because like I said, against Bethune, he was kind of lighting it up. but they looked a really conservative last week. As a matter of fact, the first probably 10, 15 plays were all run plays, and that was by both teams. They were all run plays. And I had my son with me, my 9-year-old, and we're sitting there. He was like, "Dang, are they ever gonna throw a pass?" And and when they finally threw a pass, it seemed like the game just changed. It was, because they ran so much. And that was realistically both teams. Wide receivers for A&M are really good. They're young. They're really good. But if you can't get them the ball, then, what do you do? It's that they're out there being excellent blockers, I guess, or getting some great cardio. Running back, they do pretty well, especially like I said with the big guys up front. But I haven't seen as much of the run guys as I thought. As other running backs I thought I would see this year. I don't know if they're banged up or if it's just kind of a rotation problem or issue or something like that. But it's just, they've got the running back, they've got the horses. It's just been a little awkward this year.
Mm-hmm. And I guess the reason I'm asking is, because I was just looking at the SWAC stats, and Alabama A&M's pulling up the rear in terms of rush defense. But
I can tell you, I can tell you that.
It sounds like, they're front seven, so I'm just kind of trying to, get that in my mind in terms of how that plays a role into it and what advantage or lack of advantage will FAMU have in the game.
The biggest thing with them, big plays, 15+ yard plays. The Lewis Cruz Classic, Alcorn, I think Alcorn had maybe 9 big plays in like the first half or something like that. They would get down to a 3rd, 4th down, and all of a sudden Sewell would break loose. And you're thinking, oh, well, it's Sewell, he was some big time back, maybe, but then Reggie Davis came in and did it. Then you're playing Mississippi Valley, and all of a sudden a big run breaks out there. Or then you're playing against Prairie View, and then all of a sudden the quarterback takes off and he picks up 15, 20 yards. So that's where it is. Big plays have killed them all season.
Well, that's encouraging for us Rattlers, because the one thing we done figure out over these last 4 games is that we have explosive players. We've hit 3 out of those 4 teams pretty good with explosive plays, and we do have a back in Haley who's a home run waiting to happen. If a guy take a bad angle or miss, he's out of there.
Yeah.
What I'm just kind of looking at this. My thoughts were on Sam Shade, Pough, in terms of he can't control the injuries, obviously, but in terms of establishing the type of culture, mindset, attitude, spirit, how's that looking from the changeover from a guy who was very personable, very energetic, very media friendly in Connell Maynard to Sam Shade, a little more reserved, a little quieter guy. But what's your take and what's the vibe on what you like from Coach Shade so far?
I'll tell you, what I like about Coach Shade is the culture he's built. He is, like you said, kind of soft-spoken. He's not, not very loud in your face or whatever. But when he speaks, everybody listens. I was at practice this earlier in the summer. There were 2 guys kind of got into a little scuffle. The way they handled that as far as like coaching staff said a lot about how this team has changed. The physicality that we saw from the players said a lot. a lot different. How I've seen this team on the sidelines during the games, it doesn't matter what the score is; they're still fighting.
Good.
That says a lot.
Yep.
He brought in several guys from Miles kind of came over with them. He had some guys that weren't his guys that kind of stayed. He had some guys that left. I'll be interested to see what's going to happen once he starts recruiting, how he's able to recruit, getting back into the Birmingham area. That's somewhere that A&M fans have been clamoring about. Hey, we need to get back into the Birmingham area. That's somewhere that Coach Maynard kind of got away from. So definitely looking forward to seeing how he does in that area. See if that kind of brings or get some of that grit back.
Obviously, my last question had to do with the hangover from the Alabama State game. I don't know if these last two losses are the hangover or just the spirit of things after. But can you put into words that? I mean, because 56-13. I mean, when you lose by 43 to your rival, I mean, that was, I can't even put into words because the expectation was only like about an 11-point spread. So to get beat by 43, did I do the math right? Yeah, 43. Woo, Jesus,
man. That Grambling game. I don't know if that was because you're playing this a quarterback you weren't, that I think it was like third or fourth string quarterback or something at this point, walk on or I forget, who the kid and my apologies to the young man. He did all he could. He thrown in that position, but they were out there and they had chances to win that game. They just couldn't do anything. They looked bad. That was the worst I've seen them look all season. This game against Prairie View, like I said, they were moving the ball. They were pushing Prairie View around to an extent. Then they would stall here or there. A penalty would push them back, and then they would stall out. And then at the end of the first half, it was 40 seconds left, as a matter of fact. Prairie View marched down the field, and with about, I think it was the last play, it was like 2 seconds left. They threw a 40-yard Hail Mary. And it looked like nobody was out there. It could have been pitch and catch. And at that point, it looked like they were kind of deflated. I mean, they still came out and fought the second half, but you could see like it was kind of like realization was kind of set in. It was like, okay, all right, because it went from a 7-5 game to a 13-5 game. And then by the time I got out of the press box, got back down to the field, I think the score was like 27-5. By the time I got to the car, the score was 42-5.
So it just snowballed in the second half.
It just is completely snowball. So yeah, I'm I had hopes that you guys would come this weekend and it will be an entertaining game. And I was like, yeah, I think this will be this, A&M might get shocked, FAMU. And I mean, I think they'll be competitive, but I'm not gonna put any house money on it. So.
Well, let me say this. So first of all, it sounds like, and from what I've seen, and it's typical for a first-year coach with not all his players, and then the attrition because of injuries and people leaving and going. Depth.
Yeah.
It sounds like they're just getting worn out. They can hang first, second quarter, but eventually, they don't have enough depth right now built up in order to sustain that effort. Two, you're going to be playing a FAMU team that everybody score on. All right, we allow in SWAC play. I'm just talking about SWAC play. We allow about 32 points a game, somewhere around there. So we'll keep you in the game for sure. But we are explosive. We have shown the ability to be explosive. So it very well could be a shootout.
What you said, it reminded me, and because I had to kind of go through it. You know, for those of you who don't know, my son plays football at the University of Houston. Willie Fritz last year, first year at the University of Houston. They came in, I think they won 4 games. They were in every game except for maybe 1 or 2. They were in every game, but then it was just like, you know, everybody beat up. Second half, they completely fell apart. This year, completely different Houston team, to the fact they're talking about competing. They're competing for a Big 12, or at least they're not mathematically eliminated right now. I can see the same thing, like you said, for Coach Shade. Get beat up on this year, you know, come in, fully establish his culture, get his guys in there, and then next year, you know, they're actually in that race.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happened at Miles. That's what happened at Miles for him. He came into Miles after who was the coach at Miles that left? Went to Tuskegee.
Ruffin.
Yeah.
Slater?
Griffin. He came in after Ruffin, excuse me. He came in after Ruffin, had a down year because you know, I think a lot of those guys left and went to Tuskegee. And then it took him a year, and then next week, you know, they great looking team. I mean, you know, so it's possible. He's shown he's done it. So
one thing I will say, who is that? The athletic administrative team that you got over there. Strong, buddy.
Yes.
I know most of them, work with a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you all have a very competent group over there.
That's how I knew Coach Maynard was going to be there long. When they started doing the kennel community, they put in that scoreboard, they redid that turf, and everybody was like, well, you know, it's fun. I never forget. I asked Coach Maynard, and I probably shouldn't ask any more questions on the SEC. I mean, not the SEC, the SWAC coach call. I shouldn't ask any more questions, because I asked him, said, Coach Maynard, how, you know, what does the Magic City Classic mean? And he said, it's funny because when I got here, they told me you only got to win 2 games, homecoming and the Magic City Classic. He never won a Magic City Classic after I asked him that question.
Oh, wow.
I knew then. Out of them. It's the money they were putting into that program. No, sir. When they built that event center for the back, no, sir. They not playing.
Did he take his scooter with him?
I can neither confirm or deny that.
Took the scooter with him to where's he at now? Wake
Forest. Yep.
As an analyst.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I guess the one thing I would note, and kind of talking about what you and Kelvin have been talking about, is that when you just do a quick glance at the statistics, especially the offense and defense rankings within the conference, I mean, these 2 teams are, and based on the weaknesses with the even though our secondary, I don't know, it's like we alternate weeks on whether we're going to give up 300 yards rushing or 300 yards passing. But the weaknesses, the teams seem to mirror each other in terms of their weaknesses.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing that FAMU has to, well, I'll put it like this. In the past, since we've joined the SWAC, I think there's been, let me see, 1, 2, I can't remember how many games, but it seemed like at least 3 out of the 4 games that we've played, Alabama A&M had a lead at some point. And then either decisions were made or something was done by the coaching staff, and I guess I have to put it on Maynard, that just like turned the tide and flipped it. This is when I came down to 22, you know, that we were like the first quarter and first half, we were getting whooped. And I remember, I think we had like a fumble punt or something like that. Or
yeah,
it was like 19. Yeah, it was like 19 to something. It was weird. And I was like, what is going on? I remember in 2021, I think we had to come back I don't know if that was the Bishop Bonnet run.
Mm.
And then 23, which would have been
down.
Yeah, we were down. And then 23 was when it was back in Alabama A&M.
I was at that game. It was, I never, you guys jumped out. I mean, y'all had a block punt, y'all had a punt return. Yeah, man, I was like, man, what is going on? And then A&M worked their way back.
Yeah,
and then halftime hit.
It was over.
Willie did his Willie thing, and it was over with.
Yeah.
So it seems like there's always like a turning point. It's kind of competitive, or we'll grab a lead, lose a lead, and then some decisions will be made, like going for it or doing something, or a fake punt that doesn't work on the A&M side, and then it like turns the tide. And so I don't know. We can't depend on that this year. So it almost became like a running expectations, like, okay, he's gonna make a decision that's gonna let us get up on this game. But now we got a whole new coaching staff and everything, so we can't bank on that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be a good weekend.
Let's predictions or analysis. Pough. We're a wounded group of rattlers, so I'm not gonna sit here and say that everybody is confident about this from the FAMU side. So there might be a lot of people that might agree with what you say here. If Alabama A&M is to win, how will that happen?
If A&M is to win, no turnovers and a big special teams play.
Yeah.
Okay.
With
both teams averaging, both teams are giving up. I think you guys were talking about this earlier. I was just looking at the numbers here. Alabama A&M giving up 35.1 points per game, which ranks 10th most. And just right under them, Florida A&M giving up 34.4 a game. So like I said, don't take the under on FAMU football games, but expect some points. Expect some points in this contest.
Yeah, the problem is Alabama A&M has not scored more than 13 points since they beat Valley at homecoming. So
you might be running up against the right team to give them some points this game. I'm just saying,
so it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. I haven't had the full chance to watch many of y'all's games this year, but the games I've seen, I've been confused. One game I'm like, oh, fam, you all right. Next game I'm watching, I'm like, they gonna let the staff get back on the bus? I don't know.
Well, the reality is we're fine against the teams we're better than. The upper echelon teams, we're just not there this year.
Yeah, we got top of tier 2. At the top of tier 2, nowhere near tier 1.
Yeah. I knew it was bad when I came on here and y'all was talking baseball already. I said, y'all just gonna skip basketball. But nah, it was it's like I said, it's been a awkward year to say the least. Yeah, so it's very I didn't doubt Prairie View as much. I just didn't think that they would be able to do what they're doing in year one. I believe in Coach Jackson. I just didn't think they would be able to do what they're doing in year one. I thought Texas Southern was going to be the sleeper out of the West. And I mean, to an extent, they were. But like Coach Dishman said at Media Day when we talked to him, it's just those one or two plays that always seem to mess them up. One or two plays here or there in certain games. So,
well, Prairie View's schedule also, I thought, just really played into their favor. They don't play Jackson. They didn't play none of the top teams in the East except Alabama State.
Mm-hmm.
And they got them when the quarterback was hurt. And they played Grambling early, and Grambling wasn't the same team. They won by 1 against Texas Southern. They just find ways to win.
They beat Grambling by 1 point.
Yeah, they just find ways to win.
No, I'm lying. I'm sorry. Texas Southern beat Grambling by 1 point.
Right.
They beat Grambling. Grambling had all those turnovers in that game. So it's yeah.
So yeah,
kudos
to him. Yeah.
Yeah, I like what I've seen out of Coach Jackson. It's not many people can talk that talk and back it up. So my favorite one at Southern, they interviewed him. First thing he said was "Happy Homecoming." So, so I bet they won't schedule. It'll be a cold day in hell before they schedule us again.
All right, Pough, let people know where they can find you, and where they can check in and catch the show.
Yeah, check us out. No Chill Sports on Twitter. No_chill_sports. On YouTube, it's No Chill Sports. I want to say it might be No Chill Sports Media. No Chill Sports Media on YouTube. We air every Monday and Thursday doing HBCU hour. We cover, I guess you say, all other sports. On Sundays and Wednesdays, we've kind of been skipping those days because LSU been getting their butt whooped and they all in the news for some other stuff. So
I know I was gonna go there with you. I was gonna go there with you for just like a half a second. So I'm glad you mentioned that.
Listen, it's been rough. I've changed. I put myself in the portal a few times. But I will say this: I have this year. I kind of took a step back and kind of watched college football from a mile high view, and truly enjoy everything I've seen. And it's funny because I kind of gravitated a lot more to HBCU sports or football because of the matchups just lined up every week where they're the better matchups just seem to be over there. Watching starting week 1, Alabama State, UAB. Speaking of that, UAB down the road, they gonna stop scheduling Alabama State for stuff. They might not invite them to a cookout, the way they've been beating them up.
Yeah.
Isn't that state mandated though? And then the state of Alabama requires some of those games, some of those matchups?
I don't know. I have no idea, but Kay Ivy, before she goes, she might write an executive order or something to change some of that stuff. Them folks, they've been getting they've been crying all day.
Yeah.
Crying all day. But yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say they almost lost in football, probably should have lost, and then men's basketball just took them out. So you're right.
Wait till baseball season comes around. I hope they ain't got them scheduled for baseball because that baseball squad is usually pretty good at Alabama State.
Yeah, yes, it is. And I don't know how they're good during the regular season and then they get to the tournament and something happens. I think y'all took them out one year. I think Bethune took them out last year to win, end up going win it. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how this goes. I'll tell you what, for the first time in a long time, I'm looking forward to the Florida Classic.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the Florida Classic because I think that both teams got a chance for the first time in a long time.
You're right.
Yeah, we'll see. Is Nick Saban coming back to coach LSU?
Nah.
Jimbo Fisher.
I wouldn't. No.
Give me a name. Give me a name I can real quick before we get out. Give me a name that I can go put a cup of coffee on.
So people gonna think I'm crazy. I like Lane Kiffin name and stuff, but I don't think that's gonna happen just because of how it's playing. No, I don't even think money is the issue. I just don't think the timing lines up with him going. He's going to be in the playoffs. LSU is at a point where they could possibly make a run. With the recruiting class they got and stuff, they got to get somebody in there though to keep that class together. A name that I like, that a lot of people might scrunch their face up at.
Tulane head coach.
No, Eli Drinkwitz at Missouri.
Okay. Yeah,
I like
that's a good name.
He's an offensive mind.
Mm-hmm.
Which if LSU can get a coach on one side of the ball, on the offensive side, preferably get somebody who's call plays over there. Let them kind of control that. LSU's current defensive coordinator was the defensive coordinator at Missouri 2 years prior with Eli Drinkwitz. So he may retain, it may not, but he may retain him and be able to keep some of that class because those guys already got, keep at least some stability on that side.
Mm-hmm.
I think I think Eli Drinkwitz could come to LSU and have a little bit more success than he's had at Missouri.
There's a name. I'm gonna have to do some searching on, see if I can find a marking on that. Good look out, Pough. Appreciate you.
Yeah, we did a blind resume, and I'll be honest with you. If you compare, I mean, it's okay if you could. It's ironically, he and James Franklin are the same person numbers wise.
Oh wow!
When you look at top 25, top 10, and winning percentage, they're pretty close. James Franklin's just done it a lot longer. That's the only difference. But everybody else I've kind of looked at. There's a name that Ant has. I'm not gonna say it because he'll probably jump on me. That's a little bit more surprising, but I think what they're gonna have to do, they're gonna have to get a coach. Like I said, that is a genius on one side of the ball. And let the other side and build a great staff on the other side and kind of work it that way. You can't do the CEO thing. That hadn't worked out well. So,
all right. Well, again, appreciate you coming through. We'll see you Saturday.
I'll be there Saturday. Thank y'all.
All right.
See y'all soon.
All right. I'll be there in the I do the radio play-by-play for FAMU, so I'll be up there in the press box, so I'll look for you or vice versa, look for me, and, we'll chop it up some more.
All right, we'll do. See y'all soon.
All right, brother. Appreciate your time.
All right, thank you.
All right. Y'all make sure to hit up Pough there. No Chill Sports. Make sure to check him out.
Better let Marcus go and get his predictions in now.
Oh man. Well, we're not gonna be that much longer here. See, Marcus, when you leave, Marcus, Kelvin ends up talking longer when you leave. Kelvin forces me to talk about, you don't see the back channel messaging that comes from Kelvin when you leave. He said, Bryan, talk about this, that, and the other. And that's what happens. Just letting y'all know how it works behind the scenes.
It sounds like deflection.
Yes.
I'm just letting y'all
nobody gonna buy that one.
I don't care what y'all believe.
We all we got. Am I my brother's keeper?
All right, let me go through and talk about Gail's our predictions. What we did.
I don't even know what was.
Yeah. This comes courtesy of Gail, so we appreciate Gail for keeping track for us. These are our bold predictions from the UAPB game. Now, Kelvin, you got the box scores up. I guess you can kind of pull some of these box scores up or let us know how these stats are. Kelvin said he was going to get 100 yards receiving. Now I don't know if this was individually who this was, and 2 touchdowns. I don't know. Do you remember, Kelvin?
No, I didn't say a player. I was 5 yards short on that.
5 yards short of what?
Of 100-yard receiver.
Oh, you mean okay? It was a 100-yard receiver. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And they would have 2 touchdowns. So whoever it was, what got 1 touchdown, right?
Yeah.
Final score prediction for Kelvin was 38-35. He predicted a high-scoring game. He would have been playing the over. Cha-ching. He hit that. 3 points, though. That was a good call, too, Kelvin. 3-point ball game. Good call.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I said the first 2 offensive drives that we would score. That didn't happen. A defensive touchdown. That didn't happen. And a score of 38-31. FAMU winning. I was taking the over. Cha-ching. Cash that. Marcus flat out said the defense needs to play. I don't know. He called for 200 yards rushing, though. I don't know. Was that one individual or the game?
I don't remember. Well, no, that had to be for the team because I don't know.
Right.
Well, we did that.
Yep.
We did that. And then a score of 28-24. FAMU. So another close ball game, 4-point ball game. Yeah. Gail said this is the first time anyone has been close in our predictions. So there you go. And
yeah. Ooh, it ain't my fault.
Marcus, what's your what any big takeaways from what you saw at UAPB? We heard Kelvin his takes on Monday. What about you? Any big takeaways?
I had to kind of look at some of the game, and actually I couldn't find it on HBCU Go, the full replay. So I had to look at somebody's YouTube clips.
Yeah.
And I had to look at it. Well, to be honest, around halftime at a women's basketball game, I pulled out my phone and started, looking at both things. So I saw some of it. I guess the biggest thing, just to echo whatever, the defense has been like, you get a lead, like, okay, we can get a little breathing room. You just let them right back in. And that's been a recurring theme, especially since we started conference play. Especially against teams that we beat. I mean, Albany State, Southern, Alcorn. That's like, okay, we can score, but we can't stop them either.
Mm.
So that's been the biggest thing. And I was just surprised at how toasty our DBs. I mean, that's been consistent most of the season too. But our DBs just stay toasty. And the other thing is, it looked like we scored, but it seemed like the passing concepts for the UAPB, I don't know, they just seem to be a little bit more advanced than maybe what we call. And it could be just because they have a mature transfer quarterback, because I believe he came from Shaw or one of the CIAA schools. He transferred in. So his maturity and perhaps having been in the system or having played may play a role, but it seemed like some of their passing concepts just seem to be a little bit more complex, or they seem to get some wide open people. And plus we have the talent on offense as well, but it seemed like their receivers are just like all over the place. So I'll say that. And then I'll also say, the offense played well. They called a good game. I had to go back and look at those highlights to see the play that was called a holding that would have given us a 24-7 lead. And then we didn't, that allowed them to get back in the game. So because I heard about it and I saw the team talk about it on Monday, the crew talk about it on Monday, but I didn't actually see that play. That was probably when I was transitioning from the end of the basketball game and going to the car. So I did see that play, and yeah, that was a key play. And there was only one player I thought that it could have been called on because the clip didn't play the referee's call to see who was actually called on, but it looked like it was the left guard. But it could have been. It could have been.
It wasn't a whole lot there. It was just one of those calls that you're gonna get in a SWAC game. Like, really?
Home cooking, according to my broadcast partner. He said it was home cooking, man. A lot of those
and
calls.
it seemed like we got a couple of illegal block in the back. Block. Was it this game? We got a couple blindside blocks on kickoffs.
Yep. One
I was like,
horrible. Yep.
How often is that called? And I didn't see those plays either. But I just happened to, I was listening to it and my connection was kind of weak. So it was like, okay, blindside block on a kickoff 2 times in a row.
It's almost like they don't understand the intent and the spirit of the rule, right? Everything in the rule book, like you can literally call holding every time on every play. But you don't do that because it don't influence the plays, not egregious. And I think that kind of discretion is what's missing often from the officiating in HBCU football. They don't use their discretion very well. They literal in everything.
And it seemed like, and Kelvin, you can go back and actually both you, Kelvin and Bryan. It seemed like our scoring plays, the running plays, and even the call to Goldie on the 4th and 5 slant that he ran. Seemed like you can go back and look. Seemed like it was 11 personnel. So we had 1 tight end and 1 running back, and there were a couple people open on, well, at least on the pass play. Like he went to Goldie, but it looked like Haley was open on a wheel route as well, and the DB bailed. I guess I don't know if he was bailing to try to catch Goldie once he caught the pass, but it looked like even if it had gone to Haley, he would have had 1 man to make miss, and he would have been gone as well. And on the 2 running plays, it seemed like, I don't know if they had a run blitz call, but it looked like whoever there got like their second too late or got chip blocked. Because on the one that Haley ran, it seemed like the guy, I think he was number 43 or 47, came around the end, came unblocked. He just couldn't catch him, and then he took a bad angle behind the line of scrimmage, and by that time, Haley was gone. But other than that, it seemed, the offense, the running offense seems to be rolling pretty well. And actually, RJ, much maligned as he was by the fan base, it seems like he's
still maligned. Anyway.
Still maligned, getting progressively better, or at least looks better.
Well, we got an identity, I think. Now we are playing lesser talents too, but we have identity. You understand what we're doing. The game seems to be slowing down a little bit enough for him to make some plays, and he's not been asking to do a whole lot. So, when you get 250 yards rushing and then another 250, that's very balanced offense, and the concepts are simple. We're not asking him to read the defense pre-snap and change plays and call the plays from the huddle. So
we should be.
There's the one slip up. You guys talked about that too, that interception we threw in the double coverage. It looks like he threw off his back foot too.
He had pressure.
It was like a whole.
He was supposed to check down. Yeah, he was supposed to check down on that one.
Looked like he had the same play. I don't know if that was Haley or Thad Franklin, but he had the running back going out on the flare out to the flat, 1 guy on him.
Yeah.
But
So Marcus, let's go ahead and get it in now, B. What's your prediction and bold prediction and your score?
I'm going to say 28-21. No, I'm thinking about it because, I don't know. Both teams, you don't know what you're going to get. So I'm going to say 28-21 FAMU. Bold prediction. I'm going to say 100-yard receiver. Even though it's not Super Bowl, but if the DBs are their weaknesses and we didn't learn our lesson against Jackson State, supposedly that was, and I don't know if it made much difference just because the talent and the experience gap, but we didn't really press them as much as we probably could have if that was the weakness in their defense. So hopefully we learn that lesson and we can get the balls to the playmakers especially if Alabama A&M has a decent front seven, which doesn't really coincide with like them being dead last in run defense. So I would think something's got to give there. So either the front seven isn't as good, or they just give up big play. Like it's like they stop somebody for half a game or 3/4 of a game and just give it up in the fourth. So 100-yard receiver and 28-21 FAMU.
There it is.
Wait a minute, what was your score again, Marcus?
28-21.
28-21. That's 49, 28-21. What's that? 49 points? It's too low, Marcus. I'm telling you now, it's too low.
Yeah, it could be. I just don't know.
I mean, two teams that give up 30, two teams that give up 35. I mean, just think about that for a second.
Yeah, that's true.
Two teams giving up 30 points each.
And we don't turn the ball over that often, so
no.
And we don't get many turnovers.
Right.
No.
That part. So all those things point to high scoring.
35-31.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it has been in the second half is where the points have been, where we give up points. I mean, it just I thought one of the most insightful things that I thought I heard from you guys, and maybe I think it's you, Kelvin, starting to get on board with what I've been saying, is we are if you broke the league down into 3 tiers, we're in tier 2.
We're
at the top of tier 2.
We're the top of tier 2.
And who else would I put in tier 2? I'd probably put teams like Grambling, Bethune.
Mm-hmm.
We're at the top of tier 2?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
if
you said
have
tier
a better
1,
record.
Tier 1, who?
Grambling and Bethune have a better record.
I mean, who they go look at who they played.
But Bethune still, Bethune hadn't played us. They hadn't played Jackson State yet. So
Grambling hasn't played they beat Jackson State. They haven't played Alabama State. They lost to Prairie View. I mean, this is how funny the schedule is, right?
Yeah.
If you think about our season, we're 4-5, and I think you guys started mentioning we're 4-5. There's really only one game that has gone against the metrics, preseason metrics, the numbers, in terms of the outcome. And that was the first game of the year.
Yeah,
which we lost at the last end of the game field goal. That game we lost. Every other game that we were supposed to lose preseason, we have lost. We were predicted to lose to Alabama State, we lost. Predicted to lose to Jackson State, we lost. Predicted to lose to North Carolina Central, we lost. I mean, the FAU game, predicted to lose that as well.
Predicted by what?
By the stats.
The computer. The computer metrics.
Okay.
The computer metrics.
I know our predictions. Our internal predictions we were probably split between Alabama.
Yeah, because we were being
Alabama State and Jackson. Yeah,
we were being optimistic. We were being optimistic rattlers. I mean, let's be honest with ourselves.
Well, we didn't think our offense would struggle like it did. We didn't.
Nor our defense.
How could we know? How could we know? We had nothing to really base it on.
Right.
We had no experienced quarterback coming back, so we really didn't know.
Yeah, the quarterback who ended up starting, it wasn't even the quarterback we thought was going to start, to be honest.
Exactly. So, we didn't know what that was going to turn out like. We didn't know the defense situations were going to be the way they were. We had experienced DBs that, I love the way Tache said it, that he just out there, the level of communication is kind of head scratching at times. We really look. Stop it, Captain Positive. I'm not being. I'm just being.
We barely beat, but we beat the teams we better than. At the end of the day,
exactly. And we are an inexperienced. I love JT. We're an inexperienced ball club, from many places, and I don't think we look terrible all the time. Stop it. We don't look terrible all the time.
Against the good teams, we do.
Again, tier 1 we're not a tier 1 team. Stop it. Stop comparing us to a tier 1 team.
We were for
like you said it on the show. Once you get it in your head that we are not a tier 1 team, and put that the standard is the standard, put that in your pocket and keep it in the back pocket until the postseason, and just say that we are a tier 2 team, you'll look at this season with a whole different mindset. You will. That's it.
No,
we didn't look terrible again. I take that back.
We rattlers.
We didn't look terrible. We didn't look terrible against UAPB.
And first half against Jackson, we didn't look terrible neither. But the one thing you always remember, Bryan, we rattlers. We ain't never going to acknowledge being tier 2. That's never going to be the standard. We might agree and see that we ain't where we ain't meeting the standard. We're not going to be there. I think we all there in that sense. But that's never acceptable in Rattler Nation.
Nobody's talking about accepting anything. Nobody's not talking about accepting anything.
Well, you brought it up, so
I brought it up because we are what we are.
Unacceptable. Period.
Okay, that's true. Maybe so. Maybe so. But when we finish the season on a 4-game winning streak, 6-2 conference play, I can't wait to see. I want the reality to finally set in with everybody as to what we are and what this season is. Because the season is not going to be any different than what it was predicted to be, except for the Howard game at the beginning of the year, which we lost on a last-second field goal.
Nah.
Just think about. Hold on. Let me ask y'all. Let me play this. Let me do this. What if we had made that field goal? Would anything really be? No. Let me say that field. If that field goal goes left,
yes, Bryan. Yes.
What's different?
Losing 3 games at home, giving up 40, not being competitive.
Nothing would have changed. That would have still happened.
No, it wouldn't.
Yes, it would have.
No, not at the beginning of the season.
If we had,
that was not a prediction.
If that field goal goes left against Howard,
we ain't talking about
and we won that game.
You talking about the season?
Are
we talking about the game, or are we talking about the season? All right.
No, what game? We're talking about the season.
So we talking about the season? Then no. I mean, losing 3 games in Bragg, getting blown out, and no.
Predicted.
Barely beating Alcorn as well as Albany State. Barely at home. No. Bro.
Winning is what happened to winning is hard. What happened to winning is hard? You keep saying barely, but winning is hard. We can't say winning is hard and then talk about being barely.
Come off the ledge.
We can't say winning is hard and then turn around in the next sentence and say, "Oh, we barely won."
Oh yeah, we can say that against inferior opponents. We can say that. The standard is standard.
Someone make a shirt, please. Somebody just make a shirt. Standard is the standard.
It is.
It is. I'm not.
Hey, I tell you what. Put this product on the field 3 years in a row and see how long you'll be the coach. That tells you everything you need to know. That's what it is. Hello.
Okay.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
I get it. 7-5, 3 years in a row. It's not a good look. Understandable. All right.
Peace out.
Also, I want to give a shout out to.
I'm gonna be like Marcus. Bye. Go ahead.
We give a shout out to Nia Rhodes' family. She was her family was sitting behind me at the Howard game, and they came from Kentucky to see her play. So that was I wanted to make sure. And actually, I talked to them about coming on the show whenever they're available. I don't know if they're on social media. I didn't ask, but her mom, her brother, and I think 2 of her former high school coaches came up from Tennessee to watch the Howard game. So that was good to see. And Coach Crary was sitting in front of me. So he was there. I guess I'm watching the game and then getting prepped for their game against Howard men.
Yeah.
Which they won.
Yeah. They pulled it out.
Yeah, and 2 of the players that are balling out for them early, or 2 players that had already committed to FAM. But it is what it is.
They committed for him.
Yes, I understand that. So, all right, fellas, I'll catch up the last few minutes or 45 minutes.
Leave it up to Bryan.
No, it ain't gonna be 45 minutes. I'm not talking about nothing else. I'm done. I'm Keith's ready for baseball and softball. I'm not even gonna bother talking about basketball. I'm just gonna delete all these videos and I am not even gonna talk about it. Y'all.
We can talk about the men basketball.
Nah, nothing to talk about. I'm just gonna go to volleyball.
Don't be mad, Bryan. Don't be mad.
I'm going to volleyball and closing the show out.
Oh, he's
Have a good night, Marcus.
All right, keep an eye out for any signees. I've only seen one so far. I saw the one softball young lady from Sumter and the baseball gentleman from Tampa. I haven't seen anybody else, even the verbal commitments who said they were coming, and the Olympic sports, because today's the Olympic sports signing day. So I'll keep an eye out for that to get confirmations and of the people who committed that they actually signed. But those are the only 2 I've seen so far, and no surprises yet either.
All right. Sounds good, man. Appreciate you, Marcus.
All right.
Have a good night, buddy.
All right, brother Marcus.
All right.
Let's do this. Let's go, Bryan.
Nope. I told you I'm volleyball and I'm out. I'm done. I ain't showing no doggone basketball, nothing.
We got to do our bold predictions. And
bold prediction. FAMU wins. Take the over. That's it. There's my bold prediction. That's it. Take the over. I keep telling y'all, don't bet the under. Take the over. Whatever the point total is, it'll be probably 53. Take it and have yourself a good steak dinner on Bryan, because he told you. It was we only got 2 seniors that are part of the senior night. We're part of the senior night festivities for volleyball. That's Yarciel Rodriguez, the grad student, transfer from Pikeville. She's from Bayamon, Puerto Rico. That's her on the left, number 15. And Ruxandra Flores. I think I said that right. Hopefully I did. She's actually a grad student, transferred from Zula, Xavier University, Louisiana. She's from Chieri, Italy. That's her, number 19. So only 2 seniors. But anyway, which is kind of interesting given, I really thought we had, we are a young squad. Doggone it, man.
Yeah,
are we?
We are.
We are really young. Looking at this roster, I mean, really young.
Yeah.
But we got a 3-1 win over Bethune-Cookman. That was a huge win. Bethune, when we played and we went to Bethune looked so freaking good.
Yeah.
I mean, every shot felt like it was being blocked. They were stuffing it down our throat at the net. I mean, the energy that Bethune played with in that contest, I think they smelt blood in the first set, and they held that energy. I'm talking about when we went to their place. When we lost to them, that was the first time that we had lost since 2019.
Right. They just wasn't used to beating us in volleyball.
Yeah. So I mean, damn, it was a big win for them. in that contest. Just looking at a few of the numbers, you see the numbers there. 25-16, 28-26. The second set was the set that was a big. I remember watching it. The second set was huge. Winning that second set, 28-26, was a big get for us. We found that was the set, Kelvin, that I thought that's the one we had a habit of losing. Like we were down and rallied. I think we were down by at least 10 points in that second set, managed to win it. They took the third set from us 25-19. They jumped out on us on that set too, and we kind of made it competitive. And then we just kind of, we rolled in the fourth set 25-21. A really good performance. Improving to 7-7 in SWAC play, 9-16 overall. Double doubles for Sydney Whitfield, who had 12 kills and 19 digs. LaDonna Trantham had 17 kills and 16 digs. Farah Farouk had 19 kills in the contest. I saw a stat about Farouk. Let me see if I can find it here.
While you're looking for that, we've won 5 out of the last 7, I believe, and we have an opportunity to play the Mississippi schools this weekend on the road.
Yep.
And if we can get those two, it could be argued we're peaking at the right time.
Yeah, we are sitting in 8th place. There are 3 or 4 schools sitting at 8 and 6 right above us. So we could go into the tournament as high as 5th.
4. Yeah.
I don't know if we got enough to reach 4. Hold on, I got the standings here. This is the schedule. You can see on Friday we play in Mississippi State. Then on Sunday we travel over to Jackson State. These are the standings.
Yeah.
So, the Jackson State one is going to be a tough one because they're currently 2nd.
So we can get to 5. You're right.
Yeah, 5 is, so anywhere from 5 to 8 is what we're looking at heading into the SWAC tournament. I don't think Grambling's going to catch us. I don't see us losing 2 this weekend. So we got an opportunity here. Just looking at the notes, Farah Farouk ranks 1st in the SWAC and 31st nationally in hitting percentage at 39.4%. The Rattlers have established a strong identity around efficient front row play. Farouk also ranks 2nd in the SWAC in blocks per set, 1.02, giving FAMU one of the most balanced middle presences in the conference. So that's
I noticed we playing these last few games too. I've noticed a couple of names that hadn't previously been getting a lot of playing time, and I wonder if that coincide with our improvement also.
Yeah. The Jackson State match is the highlight match. Again, that one's on Sunday. Hopefully it should be on SWAC TV. Jackson State sits near the top of the SWAC defensive rankings, leading the conference in opponents' hit percentage and ranking 2nd in kills per set. They've got the young lady, Jaden James, who's the SWAC leader in both kills per set and points per set. Definitely probably a young lady who might win Player of the Year.
In terms of us against any of these teams, if you look at us wins and losses throughout the season, even in this win streak now, it comes down to 2 things. And I guess you can say that about all teams, but specifically for FAMU this season, hitting percentage and unforced errors. When we play a clean game and don't have those periods and droughts of errors and bad serves and missed kills, we win. And when we don't, we lose. And when we don't, it unfortunately seems to happen at the end of the sets, right? When we're trying to close out. So if we just play consistent, we'll be good. We'll be in good shape and be competitive with anybody.
Yeah, the last time we played Jackson State was the beginning of the SWAC season.
First game.
First game. We won the first set 25-17. Had us all feeling good. Like, all right, here we go. We're rolling. And then they rolled us after that, 25-18, 25-18, 25-20 in the second, third, and fourth sets. The biggest number is the number of kills. Both teams committed a high number of errors, 22 for Jackson State, 21 for us. It was the amount of kills, though. The attacks were relatively similar, but they had nearly 20 more kills. More assists as well, which, I mean, obviously if you have more kills, you're going to win more assists as well. But that was the difference in that first meeting. But, like you said, Kelvin, we've shown to be, we've won, what'd you say, 5 of the last 6, is it? Let me see.
5 or 7, I think.
1, 2, 3, 4. Well, 4 to 5, 4 of the last 5, and 6 of the last 8.
Yeah.
So there you go. So better second half of the season than the first half. And again, the SWAC conference tournament will be in the Lawson Center in Tallahassee, November 21st to the 23rd. So, good opportunity to play that game at home. And we'll kind of see next week's show. We'll get a chance to kind of talk about the pairings and see where everyone is. And it'll be a good weekend if you that's the same weekend as the Florida Classic. So I know that's going to be a challenge for a lot of local people. It kind of sucks, but it is what it is, right?
Yep.
It's just the way schedule rolls. All right. Good stuff.
Men's basketball.
There's the scores from the last couple games. At home, losing to Kennesaw State, 92-72. You were at that game. What'd you see?
Yeah, I was at that game. I also watched the game Monday also. That game, we had 2 players who returned, who hadn't played yet this season. Both coming off the bench, but I think projected they're probably moving to the starting lineup. I really, for that game, I really came away impressed with Kennesaw State. They played a lot of players. They got good length. They're an Atlanta-based team, so they got athletic guys. Even though I think the guy you see in the picture is a Florida guy from your way. But Kennesaw State is a really good team. They'll be in the midst. I hear they'll be in the top 2 in the running for their conference. So they were a really good team. We didn't have none of our bigs for this game, and that hurt us. That they was able to get some second chance basket and drive into the lane. But they were really sound, man. They moved the ball well, they shot the ball well, and it wasn't a team that relied on one score where somebody went for 25, 28. They had, I think, about 6 guys in between 10 and 16 or 18, something like that. So they were really well balanced, really good team, I thought. Our guys competed, but without the size, without the bigs in there. And the other thing I see with the team right now is scoring. We move the ball well, but we're not shooting the ball well. 3-point percentage, I think, is like right at 30%, somewhere around there. And that's just not going to cut it. Yeah, as you can look at, and we 0-3. You look at the 3 games we've lost. We did have a big that return for the UCF game, but giving up 90 and only being able to get over, averaging about 65, I guess. That's I anticipate this new team, new coach, and the big thing is players still rolling in. We had 2 introduced Saturday. We had another one, the bid, come back Monday, and then we got the UCF. Then we got the Georgia game coming up, and then we have a big break for like a week and a half, I think. After we play Georgia, we don't play for a while. We won't play to December, so I think that'll be the time where you'll see everybody grow. Our second big will probably start to get some minutes. Going in, getting ready to December, going into the conference schedule. So I really expect the men to be really competitive in the SWAC and do well. But yeah, what I see now, they got to make bucks. They got to make buckets.
Let me throw some stats at you, as I was just looking at some of the stats here in just the 3 games, right? Where we're averaging 66.3 points a game. All right. Points per possession is 0.75. For those of you who pay attention to that, we're getting about 97 possessions per game. Our opponents are averaging right now 97 points a game. That's, and they're getting about 4 to 5 more possessions, but their points per is 1.1. And the biggest statistical thing, you talked about shooting. We're shooting 35.7% from the field. Our opponents, 52.4. Now, I'm going to go even deeper. 3-point percentage.
28.
We're shooting 23.4% from the 3-point field.
Yeah.
Our opponents are shooting 45.6. Jesus. That is hard to overcome.
Yeah.
That's hard to overcome.
And we don't take bad shots.
No, you're right. You're right. I don't think we don't jack up a lot of shots. We just
ain't hitting them.
We just ain't hitting the ones. This video highlight that you guys are seeing, these are all makes. These are all the makes. We'd be here another 5 minutes if I showed you the misses too. I'm just showing you the makes. There's twice as many clips of misses. That's all I can tell you. I will say, in going to the UCF game last night. Oh, now hold on. You mentioned the guys who came in, the guys who came back. Hold on, I had it pulled up here. Deveray Palmer played 19 minutes against Kennesaw, his first game of action, 16 points, 5 of 8 from the field, 6 of 9 at the free throw line. Antonio Baker, also first game of the season, played 26 minutes, 10 points on 3 of shooting from the field, 4 of 6 at the line. But he had 3 assists, 2 steals, and 3 total rebounds. So it was a good debut for them. Shirley had 14 points. Palmer actually was the leading scorer in that contest, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now I went to the game at UCF. The game was obviously right here in the backyard, right? The biggest. Obviously, the first half was a rough watch. We were
didn't make no shots.
Didn't make no shots. Down by 28 at halftime. Second half was a whole different game. practically an even ball game in the second half. I mean, we were outscored 49-40, but for several minutes we were neck and neck in terms of second half point production. The biggest takeaway was Miles. How am I going to say this name? In Dalama?
Yeah, something like that.
Miles Dalama.
Yeah.
A 6'11" center from Zambia, transferred from Chipola. Number 34, just in case you were watching the game and you were like, who is 34? That dude is a dude. I'm just going to put the clips.
Made famous about 10 years.
That dude,
yeah,
that's
he's
34.
Gonna be nice. He's going to be nice.
Dude, you watch. His energy level was better than any UCF player. That's him right there on the block. His energy is better than any dude that I saw for UCF. Again, UCF shot 13 of 20 from the three-point arc. We only shot 6 of 21. Again, that disparity of shooting is what's hurting us right now.
Right.
You know, there's one of the few threes that we got, Jordan. But I mean, you already see the score. I mean, we had a drought early in the contest, and I mean, you're swimming upstream.
Yeah.
But I think Miles is going to be. I think potentially Miles is going to be. He's got first team SWAC, second team SWAC potential.
No doubt. Absolutely.
I don't know. I don't remember how we talked about last year. The big who went to Jackson State, Grant.
Yeah,
and we talked about there wasn't anybody in the SWAC like him, and that's why we kind of felt like doggone it hurt losing him to Jackson State.
Yeah,
I don't know if there's a big like this young man right there.
He's a lot more athletic than Grant was, though.
Yes. I mean,
and he still has the skill sets, though.
10,000% better. I mean, just look at the effort. Look at the effort. I mean, the effort and the hustle, and again, his enthusiasm for the game, Kelvin, is what I was most impressed with. I mean, if we can get everybody on the floor, and including the bench guys, because, you know, I watch stuff like that. Like, I watch our bench. I don't see enthusiasm for our bench. And I know, see, there you go. There's one that was during a little run where we, you know, guys started making some shots in the corner. But, you know, if the guys on the floor are as energized about playing as Miles is, we're going to be all right.
No, I'm telling you, when we get to conference play, that's when you're going to really see this team soar.
Yeah. Also in that UCF game, the young freshman, Knowles, Anthony Knowles, that's him right there.
Mm-hmm.
He hit 4 threes. Knowles played really well. He played really well.
Yeah, he's got talent potential. He's just gonna be inconsistent as a true freshman point guard. So he's gonna turn it over. He's gonna make some silly fouls and stuff. But you know, they letting him play through it because out of necessity at first. But now that Antonio Baker is back, you know, he can come in and
drop step. I jumped out of my seat when he made that drop step. I ain't seen a post make a drop step like that since, man, look, where's he from?
Yeah.
Zambia?
He got a good he got a good game.
I don't want to make no comparisons, but look, that drop step was next level. That was one of them drop steps that you teach at like 5-star camps, and you just, can't no kid really do it, but you still teach it just because that's a kid who can actually do it. I mean,
man. Once we find our shooters, once all we need is one or two just drop dead shooters. Once we find our shooters, they can take off.
The other thing I watched us in this UCF game, we're a little late on passing to one another. I think right now
we over dribble a little bit.
Yeah. We have to be better passers. We have to be willing passers.
Better screeners.
Well,
we do some we do pretty good backdoor cuts. I've seen this team, they can execute at a high level, but they don't have a guy right now that I see that can break down the defense one-on-one. That's one thing I don't see.
You might be right. Yeah, you're on to something. I mean, you know, I don't know. I haven't watched enough of their offense to know if we're a ball screen team or not. But I know we do have to find each other faster. The few times that we had some transition breaks, we didn't find each other very quickly or fast enough, I should say. And we got to do better.
We should be a really good press team when I know it's kind of early in the season, but we're very athletic and we got decent length and all that. So we should be able to press the ball though and speed up the game, get some easy shots.
So on Monday, they're again, Kelvin said they're up in Athens, Georgia, taking on Georgia. And then that long break. I mean, a 2-week break. They don't have a game again until December 2nd.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a long time.
Yeah, that's a long break. But, you know, hey, it gives you a chance to evaluate yourself after 4 games.
Mm-hmm.
You played 3 of those 4 against Power 5 or Power Conferences, Big 12, AAC, and SEC. And then a good mid-major in Kennesaw. So you got a chance to really kind of work on yourself going into that Jacksonville HBCU Hoops Invitational thing.
Right.
And then we play Jacksonville again. So we got a home and home with Jacksonville. I mean, we realistic. And then you got Tarleton State. I mean, I'm maybe out over my skis when I say this, Kelvin. Coming after this Georgia game, we could I'm not going to use the word easily, but it's realistic that I can see us winning 4 or 5 games.
Yes, correct. Absolutely.
And, you know, and then that would be huge going into the last part of the non-conference.
Yep, I agree.
So, yeah, good stuff. All right. Yeah, you guys are making good points there. EA, Corinthian, all that stuff. So, we'll see. You know.
You know, EA is an old basketball player here, so you know.
Yeah.
Even though he was a hell of a football player too. You know, he played both.
Yeah. Well, you know, right now I think we just have to, you know, I see more positives. Look, I'm holding my comments about women's basketball until after Saturday. Saturday will be the good indication of what we are, can be, and what we're not. So reserve your judgment until after Saturday. That's all I'm going to ask y'all to do. Because it's hard to compare, you know. Let's just hold it for Saturday. And we'll talk about it next week.
Yeah.
All right. What else? What else you got? I got some slow cooked barbecue in the crock pot that's been cooking for like 12 hours. I'm ready to eat it.
So it should be falling off.
Some meat should be good.
Well, I mean, we're gonna try to get the bowling coach on, but he's had tournaments last 2 or 3 weeks in the middle of the week. So, let's go ahead and jump to football and close the show.
All right. What's left? What did we? Well, bowl predictions. We didn't mention the bowl. We didn't do that, did we?
No.
All right.
Nor did we mention anything about SWAC.
Okay. Okay. Hold on a second. I told you I was ready to go. I closed that spreadsheet down. I was ready to. Thanks for watching the show. Y'all have a good night.
You need Snickers.
What is this? What happened at the 220? What happened? Yes, I could. What happened at the 220? Anything interesting?
I didn't see all of it, so I only got through the first part of Cozy. So I don't know.
Why is my neighbor's dog going nuts? Anyway, those are the scores from the weekend. No big surprises. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I was surprised. I kind of thought Southern's return. I thought the return would be a good homecoming. Alcorn, y'all treated the man poorly.
Alcorn is kind of like us. They done kind of found their footing against lesser competition, and they've been winning since.
I would put, you know what? I'd almost put Alcorn in tier 2. I really would.
Oh,
I'd put them right there in
point,
tier 2. Yeah. At this point, I mean, tier 2 right now. Again, so if you had to ask me my tiers, here's my tiers in the SWAC: Jackson State, Alabama State, Prairie View. That would be tier 1. Tier 2 would consist of us, Bethune, Grambling, and Alcorn. That'd be, and then everybody else be down in tier 3. Yeah. Texas Southern would probably float between the top of tier 3, bottom of tier 2. But yeah, Southern sucks. I put them in the bottom, Keith. I put them down there in the bottom. We've kind of talked about it all, bad beats. If you watch the Stanford Steve and SVP, the Alabama State Texas Southern game, just miserable ending. If you had Texas Southern, I think plus 17, I think it was. And then the FAMU UAPB game, I told you, I knew that game. I told before game, I said take the over. After 3 quarters, only 17 points. Was it 17 or 24 points? 24, because it was, technically it was 10-7. Or was it 17-7? 24 points had been scored, I think. And then all of a sudden, 35 points get scored in the fourth quarter. 5 consecutive touchdowns between UAPB and FAMU.
Yeah, Evermore. We might talk about it, but we ain't the same. How many wins? I think we got 3 more wins than you, including head-to-head.
Oh yeah, I did hear that part. That part, Cozy's comments when y'all wanted the folks had asked him about high school recruiting. That was funny.
No, I hadn't heard that one yet. But.
Yeah, it was what I was referencing when I sent you the text. That's what they're talking about. Somebody asked him about high school recruiting, and he was like, if y'all are gonna give me 4 years, then I'll gladly go out and do some high school recruiting. I said, but y'all don't want to give me 4 months. So Cozy was like, I gotta win now. I gotta go, I gotta get guys who supposedly have experience, are a little more older and mature. Which, it is what it is.
Yeah.
And I think somebody had asked about no, he ain't lying at all. So I think the plan is, he said there's about 7 or 8 high school players that'll be coming in. And it's I don't know. It may be a horrible answer, but it's the reality.
Yeah,
it's the reality. And you have to do a balancing act between high school. So put it like this: if you were to break it up by percentages, I would say of a recruiting class, 2/3 would come from transfers in the portal, and 1/3 would be high school.
Well, also though, there's certain positions that project well. I can understand that sentiment for offensive linemen, maybe interior defensive linemen. You probably be a little bit more portal heavy with those, because the transition from high school to college is a little more dramatic for that position. Is the hardest to project from a high schooler. But you could definitely bring in some skilled people, have a little bit more balance with that, especially if you doing your due diligence and you getting quality players. because you got to do that both whether they're high school or JUCO. Just because they transfers a JUCO don't make them quality either. And I always go back to what Mike Tomlin says: run to coaching. If you trust your coaching, you just want to bring in good players, period, that are coachable and and talented. But if you lean too much on that Porter, I'm like, can you coach?
Well, this is this is where your player development system has to be. You got to have a good player development system if you're going to go out into the portal, and you got to have some good teachers, not just coaches, but you got to have some good teachers. And hopefully you got some guys who will give you at least a couple years. I think that's one thing as well. So, I mean, you can go in the portal, and if you can get a guy who still has 2 or maybe 3 years of eligibility, that's certainly more advantageous than a 1-year guy. I mean, the only position, Kelvin, I would look at maybe a 1-year guy is maybe the quarterback position, a guy who has 1 year left of eligibility, or maybe a kicker, punter. Everything else, I'm looking for at least 2 years.
Yeah. Porter is how you can bring a team, flip a team who's bad to good real quick. But in order to sustain a successful program for 4 or 5 years, you've got to have the high school foundation. And I think that's what Campbell's getting at. I'll be glad to look at that show and
here's the
what it
thing.
says.
You know who's done it, and it's because he started that way. North Carolina Central.
Mm-hmm.
But he started that way when he first got there, and they took their lumps those first 3 years to some degree. I mean, they weren't like Valley lumps, but I mean, look, they were below 500, if I'm not mistaken, in Trey Oliver's first 2 years, maybe at Central. And then by year 4, it started to pan out because of the recruiting that he had previously done. But, a Willie Simmons could have done that, and, I don't know James Colsey had that opportunity. He didn't have enough time to do all that because the system of getting transfers was already kind of in place and operating.
Well, here's what I would say, and this is not a defense, but people, I think fans often overlook it. You mentioned, I always say it's hard to win, which is true also. But also when you have constant transition at the AD position and the president position, and you on APR, a lot of people forget we on APR sanctions, which limits our practice time on Mondays. Those things matter when you trying to be a championship program. Those things impact the product you see on Saturdays. Those sanctions. So, I'm not going. I got to be fair to Coach. He's had to deal with some stuff that is out of his control. I fault him for the things that are in his control, but those are some things that impact that are out of his control. But yeah.
All right. Standings, they are what they are. Nothing really, I think Prairie View is 1 win away from 3 weeks left. They got to win one of the last 3. Nope, one of the last 2. Let me see. They have the tiebreaker over Grambling. So let me see. Even if they lost the last 2, yeah, they got to win one of the last 2 to clinch the West, which shouldn't be too hard. This weekend, big game coming up. Here it is. I don't know what was the total number of suspensions for Bethune players. I know there was 29 total players.
I'm not sure. What was it? 9, I thought, for some reason.
No, it was more than that. Hold on.
So
I got
Bethune.
I think most
of it was Bethune. I mean, was
most of it was Grambling?
Yeah. Because it happened on their sideline.
Let me see. News archives. Let's see. Here it is. Reading press release here. Yeah, 27 student athletes in total, 9 from Bethune-Cookman, 18 from Grambling State.
Mm-hmm.
Suspended for their involvement in the altercation.
That's going to hurt Grambling.
Now, of the total number of 27 suspensions, 3 received 2-game suspensions.
And
no indication as to which 3.
I can tell you I know one Bethune player gonna be suspended.
If you're talking about number 11, you're talking about number 11,
the heavyweight champ.
No, somebody said he only got a 1 game. No, I was watching somebody's show. They said that kid only got a 1-game suspension.
I don't
know that to be true.
The heavyweight champ had to get 2.
just for the severity.
Man, he knocked like 2 of them out. So yeah, he got a game. He got a game for every knockout.
I don't know how those 9 will affect Bethune-Cookman. Who knows? Those 9 players could all be second string guys. Who knows? We'll find out. Bethune-Cookman currently sitting 1 game away from Jackson State. Should they happen to pull out a win, could be some interesting times around the SWAC, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Hey, this is my last joke, but I guarantee you at the Florida Classic, ain't nobody going up to 11 for looking for no smoke.
Hold on, I gotta go look. You got me going to go to their roster now and figure out who 11 is, what's his position, and what does he play. Hold on, let me go to the roster here. 11. Defensive end, 6'1", 230. I'm not gonna say his name, but he went to Mercer, transferred from Mercer from Clearwater, Florida.
Don't nobody want that smoke. He the man on campus this week. Yeah. Bro, these dudes trying me. Come on, man. Let's go. He Debo.
Oh my God. Played his first 3 seasons at Mercer before transferring to Bethune. So, yeah.
Who wants some of Debo? You want some, old man? No.
We said no. No. Just looking at his season stats, besides his knockout punches, modest numbers, nothing too big. But anyway, Grambling will deal with the 18 suspensions and travel to Alcorn. Alcorn is the hot team right now, man.
Yeah,
Alcorn is the hot team. I think what is I was just looking at the stand. Let me go to the standings here. Grambling winners of 4 in a row. Alcorn winners of 3 in a row. So 2 of the longest win streaks in the SWAC. Something's got to give.
Yeah, they're gonna be in trouble this week.
Yeah. Of course, the FAMU Alabama A&M game. Texas Southern at Southern. Texas Southern should win that game. Southern still looking for their first. I mean, when's the last time? Hey, Edwin, when's the last time Southern went winless in the SWAC? My God. Oof. UAPB at Prairie View. I can tell you UAPB is going to take a 10-hour bus ride to Prairie View. I had a chance to hang out with some Prairie View folks in the post-game tailgate. Let me see. I'm sorry. What did I say?
Prairie View. You said Prairie View.
Oh, Pine Bluff. Yeah, the Pine Bluff folks. Yeah, there's a few of the Pine Bluff. Shout out to Lillian down in the bottom right corner. The young man sitting in front of me, that's the kicker for UAPB, Trey Glimpf. The young man to the left in the gray, that's the backup quarterback. Slaughters, I think his last name. That's the kid who threw 2 touchdowns in the game. That's him and his family to the left. So I had some unbelievable sugar-free chocolate cake, Kelvin. That was the best thing I've ever had. First off, sugar-free chocolate cake. Get out of here.
I mean, that sounds crazy, right? That's why you eat cake, because you want sugar.
Look,
yeah, I know it's the bomb, but still.
Exactly. Still, the fact that I can eat chocolate cake and it be without the what?
Sugar-free.
Sugar-free. It was.
I might need that. I might need that recipe.
Yeah. Well, it's a place. Some place in Arkansas, Pine Bluff makes it, and it's good as heck. So, shout out to the good old. Look, I that was the one cool thing. Now, the sad part is, I almost got left.
No,
bro. Yes,
you that guy.
Dog, hold on. So I told Chester was supposed to call me because I left because their players had to go get showered. I said, I told everybody, I said, look, I told who I needed to tell. I said, I'm going to go over this tailgate for about 20 minutes and come back. Chester was supposed to call me. All of a sudden I get a call from Chester. Hey, where you at? We about to leave. I said, what? I said, yeah, the bus is pulling off. Oh, yes. And I literally had to all right, y'all, I got to go. And so I'm surprised, I didn't fall out. But fortunately I got halfway and then somebody picked me up in one of the golf carts and got me there. And thankfully I'm on bus 4. Bus 4 is the last bus, thankfully. And so Cap is waiting outside. He's like, Bryan, where you at? I said, I'm sorry. I was right there in the tailgate. I'm sorry. Bro,
see,
Cozy called me out in the press conference, man, in the presser on Monday. He was like, yeah, man, I heard you was running late. I said, I'm sorry, Coach, man. The buses, I don't know if I held up the buses 5 or 10 minutes, but let's just say I won't be visiting any tailgates this weekend. I'm going to sit my butt on the bus, and that's why I'm nervous about having to get up there. Like, the bus is supposed to be leaving at 8:30 Friday. So that just means I'm going to have to leave town.
Where the bus, the thing about it, where the buses park and where the tailgates is at A&M stage, they right there. So you'll see them coming out, getting on the bus.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Let's just say, man, fortunately, the student, nobody hate, I think, I caught it right in time. Like, had I been any slower, I could have got left in Pine Bluff. Who knows? That would have been bad. And the flight took off in Little Rock. So somebody would have literally had to drive me to Little Rock to catch the plane. So
did you see
no.
Okay. All right.
Well, part of me not seeing anybody was this. Okay, we get to the stadium, Kelvin, and UAPB's elevators aren't working.
Oh, that's right.
Bro, yeah. I get there, and Dolph tells me and Albert, he tells us, he said, hey, fellas, guess what? The elevator's not working over there. I said, what? Excuse me? He said, yeah, the elevator's not working. And so the whole time we parked, now you're looking at the side. This is from the home press box side. Across the field is the FAMU side. The buses are parked behind. The buses are, look, bro,
with gear.
Did I? So I'm just trying to set this up for you. On the other side where those small bleachers are, on the other side of the field, is the buses are parked there. So Albert and I are walking from back there all the way along the baseline to the right, which is their field house and those tents to the right, and then over to the press box side. The whole time I'm cussing under my breath. I'm thinking, God, please don't this can't be, this got to be a joke. We're just sitting there like, this is a joke. Somebody's joking. We're like, Dolph is joking with us. We get over there and we asked him and said, hey, how do we get to the press box? We're looking for the elevator. And one of the older gentlemen kind of, well, sorry, fellas, the elevator's not working. Oh, no. So he says, I'll show you how you can get there. And that's when at the bottom of these stairs, he says, yeah, you can walk up here, and then you got to walk up the stairs to the press box. So
Man,
I'm carrying.
During football season, the elevators ain't working,
bro.
You supposed to have the elevator guy, like at Brad. We had the elevator company at the game. He got a pass just in case something happened.
It's amazing me because I had to carry about a 60-pound luggage. Now, what was crazy about this, carrying this suitcase that we have our equipment in, Kelvin, I literally could have put that in a backpack. As much stuff as I needed, once I opened everything up and looked at what I needed, I was like, this it? I'm like, what am I carrying around this luggage suitcase for? I was like, I could have put all this in a backpack and carried it up there and been okay. But instead, I had to drag it. Literally, I'm carrying the suitcase up these flights of stairs. Then imagine our press box at FAMU, imagine there being a third row, a third level. That's what it was like having to get up to the press box where we were. I wasn't sure what the broadcast was going to sound like, because I'm thinking I am gassed. I'm like, I am winded. Whatever steps and weight training I needed to get in over the last week, I got it in one day.
Well, at least it wasn't hot.
That was the only thing that I could say was positive about this experience, this part of it. But yeah. So I had to take this photo because I knew y'all would get a no. Did I complain on the air? No, actually I didn't. I didn't, Edwin. No complaining on the air, because no one would care. No one would care. I'm going to complain on this show because this is what I got. This is our show. We can come. I'm going to complain about this, but no, I didn't complain on the air.
I know the HBCU Go people mentioned it, and they said that they had some players. They had some players that helped them bring the equipment up. And
yeah, they had help because look, they had. Oh, I didn't even take a photo of. I sent you guys a photo of all their set. They had a full setup. But yeah. What EA said, no. No, that's all right. That's all right. I'm not going to start anything that, no, not starting anything like that. No, sir. But anyway.
Yep.
Just thought I'd share. Appreciate you guys listening. All right, here we go. Bowl predictions and score. I'll go first. FAMU 45, Alabama A&M 28. 45-28 FAMU. Bold prediction. I haven't seen this year. How about a defensive touchdown? Pick six or scoop and score. Can I add a special teams touchdown too? How about that? I'm gonna add a special teams touchdown and a defensive touchdown. There's my bold predictions. 45-28 final score, FAMU.
I'm gonna go 38-24 FAMU. And my bold prediction is gonna be we're going to go for 250 plus with two running backs over 100 yards rushing. I'm predicting both Thad and Haley to go over the 100-yard mark. When you got a back end defense that doesn't tackle well and doesn't cover well, I'm just thinking we getting open. Those guys getting open field against that defensive backfield. It's going to be a serious mismatch.
Largest scoring quarter. What do you think it's going to be?
The one it always is.
Fourth quarter.
Third, fourth quarter. We're going to be behind in the first quarter. Book it.
Hey, that would be a bold prediction. We will have a first quarter lead. That would be bold.
Oh, so we going or we have a first quarter touchdown.
One of the two. Yeah. We've only had a lead in 2 games at halftime. We were looking this up when we had that lead. The only game outside of the UAPB game was Southern.
Mm-hmm.
We had the lead, yeah. So we have only had a lead in 2 of the 9 games that we have played this season.
Yeah,
that's tough.
Yep.
All right. Well, looking forward to it. Hopefully, we got a good contingent of Rattlers that are there. Even though the 100 will not be there, I thought the 100 was going to be there, so I misspoke. Anybody who heard me on the air talk about the 100 being there, my mistake. I thought they would be.
They haven't traveled at all this year, have they? In terms of a SWAC, yeah,
they have not. I thought I thought the Alabama A&M game was going to be the travel game. Somebody had said the Southern game was supposed to be the travel game, but things happen. I know that all too well.
Yeah,
they will be at the Florida Classic, though.
Yep, that we know.
So, there you go. All right. Well, we'll see how this SWAC season plays out. I want to encourage you guys, make sure to hit the thumbs up button, download the BCSN Pod Zone on your favorite podcast platforms where you can go back and listen to the show. Again, we've got to thank Coach Shouppe and Pough for joining us. Make sure you show them some love. Shouppe's not on social media, so donate to FAMU Baseball if you want to show baseball some love. That's the best.
Softball too. They, we accomplished part of their list. Softball fundraiser still going on too.
Yeah, exactly. I saw some pictures of the shed. Did you tweet those out from your account?
On Facebook, I know I got them, but I don't know if I put it on my Twitter and all that yet.
All right. All right. Well, what EA said, what happened to the 400K? Well, look, gosh, I don't know what happened. I just know Mackenzie Scott is throwing around money left and right, and we can't seem to find our way into any of it.
Yeah, we ain't big and right or something.
I don't know. That's what y'all want to be upset about stuff. That's what all you alums should be upset about. Asking, sending emails. What do we have to do to get some of these McKinsey millions?
Well, last thing before we get out of here, BCU got a shot. What you think?
Are you going to ask me a percentage question?
Against JSU. What you think?
A shot to do what?
Win?
No. Nope.
I'm gonna say yes. I'm saying this one gonna be closer than what the experts think.
I hope you're right. I hope you're right, but I
ain't got a dog in the fight.
I don't have a dog in it, and I'm not putting $1 on it. So there you go. So we'll see. But all right, well, that's going to do it for tonight. Make sure to go check out our friends, Fangs Up Podcast, Fang Exchange. They do their show Thursday, tomorrow night, 8 o'clock Eastern, and then 9 o'clock Eastern. So make sure to check them out. And you can always check out the shows, part of the Black College Sports Network. I'll be on Sunday night with AD Drew, BCSN Sports Wrap. And then on Monday, another Monday night review as Kelvin, Keith, probably Uncle Steve,
Bang Exchange,
Bang Exchange,
Tasha.
Tasha is becoming a big hit with a lot of people. So I know folks want to see and hear her, breakdowns and good stuff. Hopefully we'll have some.
And I like having the ladies on just to have that other their perspective and also to show the knowledge of our Rattler ladies. They know it just as well as we know it and can talk it.
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed.
Live too.
Exactly. So, all right. Well, good luck to all of our teams. Make sure we support. Make sure we retweet and post and share the show with your family. Maybe I know there's a Rattler out there that isn't familiar with our show. So I need all of you to share the show. Those of you who are watching, share the show and make sure you're following us on all the social media platforms. All right. Well, that's going to do it for tonight.
See, Decatur G, I told you it was Bryan. I might help them out a little bit tonight now. I ain't gonna let them sit on other. I was a little talkative this last hour or two. See,
yeah,
I got the back. I got your back.
I appreciate it. All right, for Marcus Green, who was smart enough to get out of here an hour ago, and Kelvin Rozier, I'm Bryan Fulford. Thanks up, Rattlers. We'll see you all in Huntsville, Alabama, or Tallahassee, Florida, or wherever the Rattlers are. We know you'll be there. So strike, and strike again. Peace out.